All right, what's going on, guys? I want to do a very quick pretext to this conversation. I'll be as brief as possible. Thing number one is that this is going to go on the Papa Gut channel, which is something that's not really going to happen very much. Papa Gut channel is now basically just a streaming channel. I moved from Twitch to YouTube, and now I'm posting all these segments on the Papa Gut Leftovers channel. I'm trying to build not a new audience. I'm trying to build an audience of people who like watch my content. I've gone through a lot of content shifts. Some people don't join me anymore. Totally understand it. So that's the reason for that. If some people still don't know, they're like, "Well, Papa Gut, what's going on? How come you're not really posting? How come your channel's dying?" It's kind of by design. Trying to move over to that. So if you're somebody who likes my content, and you still aren't aware of this, I totally understand that. You can pop over to the Papa Gut Leftovers channel. It'll be in the description. That being said, today on my stream, I posted this. I posted a reaction to this preach, addresses Abba's recent controversy. And it is right now on a members only video, and that's how it's going to remain. Usually what I do is I put it on members only until it gets reviewed for monetization, and then afterwards I will release the stream public. The stream itself is public, but then I put it on members only after, and then I get the gist. I'm going to leave this one on private for two reasons. Number one is I was able to have a conversation with Abba before I release a video, so it seems kind of like silly and redundant to do. But the second reason is because, and this is the bigger reason, because I actually reshot the video offline. I'm not even going to release that because there's no point anymore. Is I don't like the way that I acted in the video. There are a few people pointing it out, and I do understand that I've been very quick to say I'm in goblin mode. I know it's like a little bit of a meme, but listen, I've been a little bit quick to passion, I'll say. I've been having some reactions I'm not proud of, a little disproportionate. My energy's a little higher. I'm not policing myself as much. And I am sorry for that. I don't like the video because it comes off as disrespectful, where I don't want it to be. And that's how some of my reactions... I've been a little bit in that mode lately. Some people have been calling me out, and I totally understand it. I don't want to talk about the specifics. I'm just going to quickly give you the reason why. I'm only laughing because I hate talking about this kind of stuff. I've had some personal stuff going on in my life, some health-related stuff. I've been, popping in and out of the old emergency room a couple times this past year. It's been a little bit of a frustrating situation. For those of you who might be like, Papa God, why have you disconnected conversation with a lot of people? This is kind of why I've been getting very reclusive, just personally, just kind of how I operate. Whatever. Just wanted to bring that up. It doesn't. It's not like an excuse for why I've been engaging in behavior. It's not appropriate, but I just wanted to know the reason why. So that being said. Pop into Destiny's chat today, last night, whatever. I don't know. I guess the morning technically. And I just said something goofy in there. I think I was like, oh, can I orbit? As a little bit of a joke. And then Ab was like, oh, Papa Gut's in here. We should get this guy in here. He had no idea about my criticism. Obviously, I'm smaller, person. Not literally, I'm fucking obese, but my point. And so I was able to sit there, chat for a little bit. And I was able to have this conversation. So I really appreciate that. I respect that. Thank you to everybody that was there too. Yeah, let's just get this party started. Listen, I saw that video you put up, Abba, about fat people, and I didn't like it.
Ooh.
That's
which one? The one about making jokes about fat people?
No, kind of. Yeah, okay. So the most recent video. Kind of.
I don't. Yeah. Go ahead. What's wrong with me?
Listen.
Which one? Are you the one I make fun of the fat girl, or the other one where I say this whole fat acceptance thing is nonsense?
I guess a little bit of both. Because the first thing, all right, because there's a couple. It sounds like you're ready to get through this as fast as possible. So I'll try to be very concise. All right.
When you're calling him out on his mistakes, he wants to move through as quickly as possible.
Okay, I understand. I do the exact same thing. So listen, the first video I saw was that swim thick video. And the only thing that I got out of that kind of bothered me was the understanding of loving yourself as a fat person. Because it seems like a lot of people think that means you're supposed to love that you're fucking morbidly obese, where it's more about just loving yourself to the point where you're ready to work on yourself and actually work on your health instead of eating yourself to death. So it felt like you didn't really understand that. But then in the most recent video, I had the biggest issue that I had with it was the fact that your assumption was that this girl didn't tell people she was fat, or the guy, so he canceled on her, and then you use that as an excuse to call her a whale. And I don't think that's a proportionate response.
No. So here's what happened.
Okay.
There was a bunch of news articles saying she was posting selfies and then basically using incredibly deceptive pictures to basically get some affection or whatever it was. And then she'd show up on the date and the person would be revolted, and then that turned into some giant scandal. And I'm like, okay. So then she does a video, and the video starts with just her face. I'm like, word. And then the bitch back up, and I was like, God damn, yeah, I'll probably leave the day too if you hit your face and you hit your body. And so, yeah, I have no
what
problems
articles
about doing
were
that.
you?
No. I have no
Oops.
problems about doing that because all the people be like, oh my God, this is unacceptable. You can't make fun of these people. You can't say that kind of mean stuff. I know for a fact that if some short dude was lying about his height the whole time, showed up like in as a hobbit or some shit, nobody would have any qualms about me making all kinds of roast jokes about him. But now it's a fat person. Everybody wants to walk on eggshells.
So hold on. What's the article that
Both
you're
should be
referencing?
unacceptable.
That's the I'm wondering what article you're referencing.
There was a bunch of social media posts, and there was an article specifically that she actually referenced herself that said that they quoted her.
Wait, hold on.
and
The
they had an interview.
the Sun article.
I think it's either the Sun or something like that. But
Because she quoted
the
the Sun article, and she was calling that one out. But in that article, it had all of her original posts linked in it. And if you had just watched them, that narrative would have been destroyed immediately. So if that was the one you're referencing, then like the idea of what you got out of what she said is like completely destroyed because she's very explicit in like a series of 3 videos that are linked in that video of like, hey, he didn't even cancel on, he unmatched her, he didn't even go. And then she's like, well, I'm going to show you my fit because I was going to go out. So she shows people the fit that she thinks is cute. And then she follows up with like, oh, something about how like this is all the photos I use in my profile. I don't know, like it has nothing to do with me being fat. He just unfollowed. And maybe it was because he would like, I don't know if you guys have this sometimes when you get like very erect, you know, like you get into werewolf mode and you think everything's attractive, and then maybe he had his post nut clarity and found her unattractive because she was fat. But it had nothing to do with the fact that of her misrepresenting herself, and it says it inside that video. Like it references all those TikToks, so it's like confusing how you even got that narrative if that's what you're referencing.
So the narrative is pretty easy. I can actually link you the social media posts and the articles that were linking to that.
Cool.
Now, if the article more in depthly at the bottom or somewhere in there kind of laid out the rest of the point, then maybe I didn't read it correctly. And that's fine. But there's a giant difference between me making up some kind of narrative that actually existed online based off social media posts in the article itself, and then me misreading or misunderstanding the situation, 1. And 2, the video was up for like 30-40 minutes before I took it down. So you have to understand, once I was apprised of the information, I immediately removed it. And so what's the issue that you have with what I did things? It feels like you're trying to ascribe to me some intentionality to paint her some way that she wasn't actually painted in the social media. Is that what you're trying to say?
It seems like you didn't go through like the proper steps to just like verify what she said in the articles you're referencing to kind of dunk on a fat girl. That's what it feels like to me. And by the way, just so you know, I watch your content. It's not like I hate you and I'm in here for like a dunk.
I'm not saying you do. So
no, I don't think that you are. I should, right? But no, but like that's it. Like that's what it felt like. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm coping because my name is Papa Gut. But that's what it felt like. So I want to talk to you about it. But can I see the articles you're referencing?
If you just want to say, yo, I don't feel like you did your due diligence, and I feel like if you'd have been a little bit more primed and a little bit more well researched, you could have avoided that entire narrative. That's
sure. Yeah. But then even afterwards, when you were like, yeah, you were basically telling people like, well, what research do I really have to do? I would say just watch her core TikToks to see what she has to say. I don't think that's an unreasonable step of research. It's like an extra 5
just
minutes.
do one fucking piece of research in your life.
Jesus Christ.
No. Listen. You guys can say that's probably the kind of research you do, and I think that's a reasonable ask, and you can certainly make that ask, and I could say no.
Okay. Can I see those articles though? I'm curious. Because you made it seem like she was like predatorily like not representing herself correctly.
Wait, but isn't there a difference between best practice, like neutral, and then immoral? Like I would say like best practice would be doing like all of the above and like going above and beyond. But like I feel like if you fuck up and then you like correct it immediately as like quickly as possible, isn't that like kind of the next best? He's
saying I have a responsibility beforehand to do a little bit more work so that the fuck up never ends up happening, which is a fair statement to make. I just say no.
That's not even really what I'm saying. It's not even because I fucked up before too. What I'm saying is that after the mess up, you're like, well, it's not really my fault. It's the social media article's fault.
Here it is.
Instead of just being like, yeah, I should have checked a little bit deeper into it. And then on top of that, it doesn't seem like it's warranted to call her like a whale and dunk on her. But again, I didn't see the core video because you pulled it down, which I understand.
I disagree. And again, I'll say this.
Why?
It's not necessary or unnecessary. There's the idea when he says necessary, unnecessary, it's like, you didn't have to do that, and I agree. I didn't have to, but I don't think there's anything.
I think it's disrespectful to.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, is that better? It's hold on. It's disrespectful
to. Disrespectful. Okay. Listen, if you're operating off the information that I had, let's say hypothetically, everything I believed at the time.
Send me the information.
Okay, hypothetically, if I said everything I said at the time was true, okay.
Okay. Wait. What was it specific? What's the specific narrative that you're saying is true?
That she was misrepresenting the way that she looked, showed up on the date, was instead of
intentionally to like trap guys in there, or do you think that if she did do that, it's because she's self-conscious?
Yes, plenty of people, plenty who maybe it's because they're self-conscious, whatever.
It's still wrong, but why is it warranted to dunk on her because she's self-conscious and didn't like accurately represent her body?
Yes, because you're wasting people's time. You're going out here misrepresenting the way that you look to the nth degree, wasting people's emotional investment. You don't get no sympathy on me. And again, I'll say this for the 10th time. The only time we have this kind of narrative is when we're talking about fat people.
It's not true.
Okay?
Fat people are the easiest to dunk on out of like any other group of people.
Okay.
I dunk on fat. I dunk on fat people.
Are you seriously sitting here trying to tell me that if this was a short person in this regards and they were misrepresenting their height and people dunked on them afterwards, that you would come here and defend them with the same degree?
Well, I personally would. Yeah. But like, wait, hold on. That's not the correct question. If you said, would society do that? I'd say probably not.
It's not just society. You wouldn't do
I probably would, but
that's cap, bro.
Why? Well, I mean,
I can't imagine having compassion for someone different.
I don't think that the
I have seen no, stop. I have seen hundreds of videos dunking on short people every single day.
Did Papa Gut do any of those videos?
No, but I don't see people defending them. I don't see people going out of their way to make commentary saying you can't make these. Vast majority of the people just socially accept it. Let's keep it a stack.
I can agree with that, but it doesn't mean that I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, Papa Gut wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's criticizing you.
Thank you.
Come on, Destiny. What the fuck? You just
What?
shit.
It's okay.
No.
It's a fair point. Papa Gut would never do any of these things. Abba's holding him to standards of other internet people. That's not fair.
If Abba did the same thing,
bro, I'm just waiting for the articles.
All the same shit. Would Papa Gut be dissatisfied and say, "I know you apologize. I know you took it down, but you should have done more research."
Yes. I would have done that.
You realize that Papa Gut is literally 5'5". Yes, of course.
Yes.
You're saying the same shit.
Absolutely. I'm really short, so I'm very offended by that.
Okay, well, listen. If you are the only person on this planet that would, congratulations.
Okay, but can I just see the sources? Like because listen, we fundamentally disagree.
Show him the source. Show him one source.
Okay, Destiny, let's go.
This is a very.
I'm just asking. This is a guy that's like Hassan doesn't do any research and he just calls people incels.
Oh
my god.
I've already sent you a friend request. I can send you the links to the social media posts as well as the article that I referenced, and then we can go there. Again, if your point is I should have done more thorough reading and that's it, then I'm cool with that. There you go.
Like I said, I don't think that a girl showing up to a date and like not representing her obesity.
And that's your opinion.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. We don't have to keep arguing about it. I don't want to go in like a circle. But like, I just don't think that warrants a level of disrespect of calling her like a whale.
True.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's fine. And that's fine. And I would say that the only reason people say that is because it's a fat person.
No, I don't think a short guy either. If a short guy doesn't accurately represent himself and he goes on a date, you're right. People should care. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Listen. But
nobody cares.
Where are your defense of short people videos? Like, why are you spending your time on shitting on fat people? Spend more time defending short people.
Link one short person defense video.
More time shitting on short people.
Okay, all right.
Because I love my short kings.
Stop. I've literally, my most viral video is one defending short people. So I don't even know what it is that you're talking about.
Is it also dunking on a fat girl though at the same time?
And dunking on tall people?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that pretty much covers it. Yes, that was your main criteria issue with what I said.
Yes, I appreciate you talking to me about it. Thank you.
No, it's not a problem. My pleasure, man.
I like it.
You shouldn't have liked it. It was a pretty rude and disrespectful conversation.
So what?
I feel like
listen,
it's over a lot of the energy.
I appreciate the commentary there.
Destiny, I understand where you're coming from. As a short person, you know that you're. Have never been catered to. I just want you to know, Destiny, I fight for even you.
Can I explain why I'm not like offended by what he's saying? Okay. Most people, hold on, because here's the thing. Like, I still disagree with you, but at least you're not like playing this baby bullshit game of like, well, that's not actually what I said. Like, you're just like, yeah, listen, I don't give a fuck. So many people, especially when they say some shit that I don't particularly care about when it's like for fat people, because I'm a obese piece of shit. They're like, pretend this game. We're like, no, I actually care about fat people, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather you be like, you know, bro, fuck off. Like, that's totally fine with me. I can respect that. I'd rather you just tell me to your face that my face said,
I just don't care like about this whole idea of like not making fun of people based off.
Well, I think you can make fun of people. I just don't think that, like, when it comes to like a disrespectful thing, I just feel like disrespect should be met with disrespect. She wasn't being disrespectful, so I wouldn't be disrespectful to her.
The idea when you say it's disrespectful,
is
you're essentially trying to say that this is stuff that shouldn't be uttered online. That's essentially the connotation.
When you're saying that like she's a fat whale because she misrepresented her, I just don't think that's a proportionate response.
He said fat whale?
Well, he said whale, right?
Absolutely.
So like that's not a proportionate response.
Hold up.
Wasn't that girl a cutter?
It's not a that's funny.
Well, would you actually sleep with her though? That's the question.
You're getting better with your jokes where you're not saying I'm joking anymore. Very good. I will say that based off the context of which I took it in, I do not feel bad for the joke. Now, understanding the context in which I said it in, I not only took down the joke, but I apologized for it. So that's the difference. I agree that.
Well, you're doubling down on the joke.
No, I don't feel bad for telling the joke specifically. I feel bad for directing at somebody who didn't deserve it in that context. You understand?
I get what you're saying. Okay, I still don't think that
here's an example. So no, I'll just finish. So here's an example. If there's a shit dude on screen, I'm not gonna just go off rag it off like, hey, and do a bunch of jokes and go hard and roast the fuck out of him for the rest of his.
Why you did to her?
All right. And so I wouldn't do that. But however,
okay.
If he's out here acting big chested and being arrogant or whatever, then that's when the roasting comes in. Now,
was that the narrative of what she did? Like, was she like, oh, fuck this guy? Was that the narrative?
The narrative that what she did was that she was intentionally misrepresenting herself.
But that's not big chesting.
No. Listen, I don't care if it's not big chested. That's not the only.
But that's what you just said. That's the criteria for the short guy.
Hold on. That's the criteria for the short guy, and the short guy was also misrepresenting.
Double standards, bro.
No. If the short guy was misrepresenting his looks online, wearing a bunch of heels that are 10 inches, or just taking angles that were intentionally deceptive to hide the fact that he was a hobbit, then the moment I found out, I would roast the fuck out of the hobbit. Do you understand?
Yeah, I still think that was wrong. I think it's okay to say, like, yeah, people have preferences, and so somebody doesn't have to date a fat girl. But no. Same thing with the guy.
You're thinking of like the politically correct answer, which is like, oh, I'm going to just say that that's incorrect and you shouldn't do that. And that's fine. That's the empathetic, regular. I want to roast the person.
Can I ask you a question really quick? So if a trans person does the same thing, can I call them the T-slur if they show up and they don't tell me they're trans? You know?
Are you consider calling someone fat or a whale the same as calling someone a slur?
Wait.
I mean, hold on. It's the context of how, if you like, well, if there's no context, you can call a fat person a fucking whale without it being like disrespectful.
I don't think disrespect is an issue to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait,
okay,
yes.
Hold on. Stop. Do you think there's a difference between calling someone a slur and then calling someone
something disrespectful? Yeah, I think that slurs are additionally disrespectful. But I was just making like a general argument. Is it okay to be? I guess you would say it's okay to be disrespectful.
Yes, we do it all the time online. Okay. You be disrespectful.
Never me. I'm always a nice guy.
You crack jokes. No, stop.
I never crack jokes.
You crack jokes about people that you feel are being morally reprehensible.
Absolutely not.
If Nick Fuentes, yes, you do.
You don't even know who I am.
I do know who you are. I'm literally the one who advocated for you to come on this.
Then I'm fangirling. Thank you so much.
I think
I'm tuned in. What I'm trying to say is, if you're being honest, I want you to say this right now. Are you saying there's never been a time where someone was being mean online or saying crazy stuff?
Oh no, I make jokes all the time. Absolutely, but I just don't think that she was being mean by like it not representing herself.
I think she was being worse than mean.
Why? She was just if that narrative was correct, she's just self-conscious.
No. If you catfish, fat fish, whale fish, I don't care what it is. If you do that, okay, you are doing something worse than being mean. You're wasting people's time. You're wasting people's.
Why is that worse than being mean?
Yes, it is.
Oh no, I didn't say it's not. I said, why is it worse? What do you have? Listen. Hold on. You've been talking more than me. Listen, hold on. You're talking about wasting time. You've been sitting with Destiny for 3 hours. You don't have anything to do. So it's like, what does wasting time really mean?
Okay, that's hilarious. That's funny.
Wait. That's totally different. One's consensual. How can you argue that being mean is way worse than catfishing somebody and like lying to somebody?
Yes.
Okay, but
wait, hold on. Now it's not consensual?
You see pictures of them. Do you have to disclose your bank account too?
Okay, but if the narrative was true, fucking Destiny.
Yeah,
it's an honest question. Abba, would you have the same energy, Abba, if she'd killed herself after your video?
What are you talking about?
Damn.
Let's say she killed herself after your video. Would you be like, yeah, I should be able to disrespect anybody that I want to online?
Hey, listen, I don't want anybody to kill herself, but if she does because of that joke, what do you want me to do?
Wow.
Damn.
That's all that needs to be
That's
said.
your argument, Destiny. You would say,
That's all
what
that
the
needs
fuck?
to be
It's
said.
not the single joke that killed her. That's insane. It's an insane
It
claim
could
to
be.
make.
He's a huge creator. Being a huge creator is a huge responsibility.
Well, hold on. It's not the single joke, but it's not the single joke.
So Destiny, it's literally permitted and even fun, and we can even have it as a treat. I think.
I appreciate the hypothetical that gets into spicy territory. Okay. Destiny, if you cover a news article, okay, let's say it's not the greatest news article, but you cover it, you're on stream, and then you mention somebody's name, and you're like, this person's a piece of shit. According to this news article, they're a piece of shit, and they go off and kill themselves, and afterwards you find out that what's in the news article
interesting conversation.
Is it your fault?
I would never do that.
What, you've never looked at a news article and made commentary on it?
Not without having all the information first.
This fucking sneaky little sneakster. Oh my god.
He tried. So we all know. Okay, so we good. As long as I could get him on record, we all know he's just trolling. So carry on.
I'm not trolling at all. I do my
you're
best.
dead serious right now.
Yeah, when I'm insulting people, I know what I'm talking about.
I
Okay?
just-
I'm not
I
just
just
looking for easy victims on the internet to score brownie points with my
I just
community
want
while I
people-
dehumanize people struggling with
cap.
weight issues.
That's cap. Maybe not weight issues, but you definitely do on other things.
Hey,
Anyways,
listen, weight issues are real, bro.
Yeah,
I
they
just,
are
let's
real.
make.
I just want to appreciate that. I feel like when it comes to fat people, we all get anally like tight as soon as jokes come up or roasting or comments come up. And I feel like this is one of the few groups where they see that with. And I think if we're all being honest, the only reason that this is a deal is because she's fat.
I think it's just
Now-
because it was unwarranted and that you're just you're incorrect about that part. But okay, I see what you're saying.
I think the unwarranted part made it worse, but I absolutely think
No, I think it's unwarranted even under the context that you thought it was. But like, yeah, we're just going in circles at this point.
Seems like he just wants fat people to kill themselves.
Yeah, is that what you want me to do? That's what it feels like.
Just saying.
Because I already am with the way I'm eating.
I treat fat people the way I treat feminists. You know what I mean? Equal jokes for everybody. I don't care, women, whatever it is.
I knew
Everybody
it.
can
After
get
this
these
is such
roasts.
a bad take. This like equal rights, equal fights shit. I've always
okay,
hated
all
it.
right.
Such a bad
Well,
take.
wait, listen, hold on. I have a
let's
really
hear from
serious
our
question.
favorite communist. Go ahead.
I have a real serious question. Can I ask you? Because like this is actually
No. I actually want her to expand on
Okay.
that. Go
How
ahead.
dare you take away from the spice?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead, Aaron. So what's wrong with cracking jokes equally against everyone?
No. I'm saying I don't like the logic or like how you're approaching this. It's the wrong question. It's the wrong way to approach it with this like equal rights, equal fights thing.
All right.
Because like, Papa Gut's bringing this criticism to you.
Mhm.
And I guess the way that he framed the criticism, it kind of opens the door to these like endless divisive comparisons, and you're kind of just pointing to like, well, it's
I don't even have to
justified
debate
because
for myself,
other
bro.
people do this and other people do that,
They
and
can
why
do it for me.
why doesn't anybody get equally as mad about this?
Absolutely.
Rather than just staking it on principles of how people ought to be treated, which I think is where Papa Gut was saying, which is that like, hey, you're fine to roast them, but like maybe keep the weight out of it, you know?
Yeah, and I don't prescribe to that. I don't think there should be anything that's off limits in that regards. And so you prescribe to the things where it's like, let's make this a limit, or let's not talk about this, or not joke about that, which is fine. There's plenty of people who live in that world. I live in the world where I prefer it if people can make jokes and roast about every aspect and attribute that people have.
Can I ask you
I
another
think that
question
the
about that, Abba?
argument that you're using
No,
to
let her finish.
justify it, the argument that you're using to justify it, like I don't even think you believe yourself, because like
Damn.
I don't want to
Jesus
conflate
Christ.
like certain types of bullying with just racism, but like imagine if I was racist to you and then I was like, what, racism is like really accepted within this like society that we live in, like are you seriously going to give me a bunch of shit for it and justify it?
Hold up. When you come to racism, I'm pretty much cool with racist jokes.
Really?
Yeah, I accept a lot of racist jokes. Yeah,
So if I called you the N-word, you'd be okay with that?
I don't think that's a joke.
What if I said it in a funny way?
Okay, well, what's the funny way?
Jesus
Go ahead,
Christ.
try it. Go ahead.
Like with the ER.
No.
I'm
Destiny's
ready for
favorite
it.
word. Let's go. Use it.
Well, I feel... Hello?
Yeah,
My
we wanna
mic
hear
is...
this.
My mic is...
I heard him say it. So
Might cut out.
Oh,
yeah.
how handy! How handy that your mic cut off.
Soon as the
Very
N-word comes
ideal.
up. Soon as the N-word comes up, you know what I mean? Go
I
for it.
have technology issues.
All right, hello? My mic is...
Abba, that's what you're
Yeah,
saying,
I
Abba,
bet
in
it
the
did.
same way
That's
that
essentially what you're saying. That's the world you're advocating for. Abba, I'm just saying that when I insult people online, I like to think of like, what would MLK...
No, all right.
Well,
all right.
can I-
If you would have delivered that without laughing, you would have done it.
Can I be honest here? I think the only reason you get away with it, what you're doing, Ab, is because you're black. It's black privilege. So
I think that's definitely a part of it. Sure.
I was kidding. What the fuck?
I'm not even joking. I think black people
okay.
definitely get a lot of leeway to say a lot of things online. Carry on.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you know what? You kind of threw off my joke there a little bit. So
I know it's almost like you were.
I don't like
telling the
it.
truth.
It's
You're funny.
yeah, that's
Wait,
what I was
wait,
doing,
God,
dude.
here
That's
you
how I
go,
feel.
channeling. Hello?
He's going like
Well,
super
hold
mode.
on. I'm also a person of color, so I can say these things because I am actually Jewish. So, and according to some
if we're being
people
honest,
in here,
black people can
that's
definitely
Jewish.
Get away
That's
with
people of
certain jokes
color.
that other can't. Stephanie especially can't say pretty much anything.
Abba, didn't
Oh
you
my
just
god,
make
we
Papa
got rid
Gut's
of Mr.
argument?
Girl, and
How did I make
now
Papa Gut's
Papa
argument?
Gut is the new Jew in town?
Because
Well, I'm
Destiny
ethnically
just said-
Jewish and I hate my father, so I'm like Jewish. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, is this Mr. Girl?
Oh no, dude! Did I replace this guy? That's
Are
the
you
only reason I
also
didn't want to.
You've
That's
not
the
been a
only-
sneaky little weasel yet.
That's the only reason I didn't want to talk to you guys, is because of that guy.
Okay, yeah. So
Wait, what?
hold on.
I'll
Aaron,
stop.
Aaron wants to keep being spicy. Aaron, what did you want to say?
I was saying that I think you just made Papa Gut's argument towards
Which one?
Destiny.
Yeah,
because
well,
Destiny was like, what if I called you the N-word, Abba? And you were like, that's not a joke. Okay, well, Papa Gut saying like calling someone a whale is not a joke.
Do you
Yeah,
think
where's
this is,
the
hold on,
humor?
hold on, hold on.
Wait.
Are we doing this autistic thing again where we're comparing using?
Hey,
slurs to somebody else?
that's
no,
a
being
that's a
ableist.
slur. Isn't that an ableist slur now? Like when you use it with that negative context?
No,
I
that's
love
why
ableist
I
slurs.
came
It's-
into this saying that I was kind of hesitant to make this comparison because I'm not trying to conflate something like bullying with like racism. These are two different things. But it's kind of the same logic when you're saying like when Destiny's like, "Can I just call you the N-word? It's a joke, LOL."
It's
And you're like,
totally
"No,
different.
that's not
That's
a
the same.
joke."
Yeah.
It's totally different.
I think it's
Literally,
it's
Daphne
fundamentally
just
being
sitting there
disrespectful.
and then turning to
is what
ABBA
it
and
is.
saying the N-word is not the same context as in the video that ABBA made where he
For
calls
what
the
it's
person a
worth, I
whale.
think that would be
They're also not comparable
Hold
words.
up, hold
because
up,
they're not
Totally
the same.
comparable. First of all, hold on, wait. First of all, calling someone a whale is not funny.
Because the context of the joke itself needs to actually be properly heard. So what happens is that he calls the lady a catfish. I'm like, nah, bro, that's a whalefish, okay? And that's how it kind of happened. So it wasn't just being like,
Oh, now there's context.
I mean, yeah, I said it in a funny way. I'm going to own it. I mean, it
Wait,
wasn't the best
can you
joke, but
send me
I mean, that shit
the
hit-
raw video so I can react to it?
So what if
No.
it was like somebody of a
What the
different
fuck?
ethnicity, and instead of
I mean, of
if
course I
it's-
removed it. I
if
removed it a
somebody
while
with a-
ago.
Why are you so ashamed
What
of
if
it? If you what the fuck, dude?
Hold up. Stop. I'm not ashamed of the joke itself. You understand why I took it down, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not saying
Because it was
I'm not saying
hateful.
put it back up. I'll put a big disclaimer in front of it that says like ABBA is very
No,
sorry
no,
for the
no,
joke that
no,
he
No,
made.
you're
no,
missing.
no.
The reason why he took the video down was because he spread misinformation about her lying. and
I
trying to catfish
fucking
when he
I
never
know
happened.
I already
He
know
didn't take
that.
it down
I
for
know
the
that.
whale
I'm
comment.
just fucking
I'm just
around.
making it really clear.
Do you really think that
Okay.
I was asked like you? Do you really think I thought he was going to give me the video? And I was like, yeah, ABBA, please give me this
I
video.
have
I'm
no
so
idea.
serious
I
right
have
now.
no
I don't know
idea.
because Aaron literally unironically tried to equate Destiny's comment with like the context of
Yes, I'm
He wasn't
confused.
equating the context. He was
I don't
using
know
the
what level of
logic.
social
Argument.
skill we're
Okay,
operating
actually,
off of, okay?
I'm curious. I actually want to understand it better. So
Oh,
how
God.
are they?
It's another episode of Erudite picking fight
Oh
with
my
all the women in the call. Jesus.
Oh my
Yes, yes.
God.
So I'm actually concerned.
I defend that.
I'm actually curious, Destiny. How is it similar in terms of logic? Explain.
Well, the logic that you're using is that there are certain immutable characteristics that are fun to attack people on, okay? And you're saying that as long as the joke is funny, it's okay. But and then you're saying that, well, people attack people on other types of things like being short, and people don't care about that, so it might be okay. And what our commie friend here, Aaron, is saying is that, well, people use that to justify being racist towards other people because other people are racist towards some people. They might say that like, oh, well, I can call you the N-word because people make fun of white people all the time and nobody cares about that.
Okay, my issue is not making fun of someone because they're black. My issue is just the fact that you're using the slur. That's it. You want to make fun of someone because they're black? You certainly can. We
Oh,
do it all
so
the time.
whale was a slur?
We do it all the time. Even we do it. And if it became a slur, then you can certainly make that argument, but it's never become one. So you'll have to address
Weight's
it
not
again.
immutable. Weight is
Stop.
not an immutable thing.
Stop.
Most of the time.
You're also correct about that. But if someone
It can be.
stop. When
Oh.
Wesley Snipes was on the scene, people were calling him Darkness Falls. Nobody had no issue with it. There's plenty of people who do black related jokes that get to slide, and nobody has a problem with it. So this
Well,
idea,
that's not necessarily true.
Me and
Jokes
Papa
about
God would have problems with it.
jokes about
That's
it's a
what I'm
lot
saying,
easier.
Evan.
It's a
That's
lot
fun.
more societally palatable to make jokes about fat people than black people.
Sure.
It's not very easy to do.
Sure. And,
Okay.
and if you want to make the argument that
But
we should be
before
able
you
to
were
make jokes
arguing in the
about people-
reverse,
Stop.
and before you were saying
no,
like
no,
no,
no.
fat people are the most whatever red flagged or whatever. Like that's not true. Like
I think
Hold on. If you
good
want to make the argument,
comparison.
if you want to make the argument that we should be able to make fun of fat folks, I have no problem with it. Go ahead. I'm saying that the only reason that folks came out of here is because fat people are put in this protective bubble where you cannot make fun of them in public without it being a big deal. If you want to include black people in that bubble, you certainly can. You could probably put trans people in that. You could probably put trans people in that bubble if you wanted to try. You could put a bunch of things, but it doesn't change the fact
Have you ever
that we
been
put.
have you ever been fat at any point in your life? Have you ever been like
I-
obese or overweight?
I have, but that has no relevance on this discussion.
Really?
Yes,
Because you
why is
felt
that
like when you were obese or overweight, you felt like people put you in like a special box where they didn't touch your weight or criticize you for it. Are you serious?
I felt like people felt uncomfortable about making comments about it. Yes.
Really?
So
You don't
here's an
think that
example. So here's an example. When I was deathly skinny, I had a collapsed lung from being so thin. People
Okay.
made comments every single day about how skinny I was without fail. Okay?
are you happy
can
that they did it though? Is it a good thing that they made comments about it?
That's not the point. That's not what we're talking
What is the
about.
point? Because that's what we're talking about.
No, stop.
That's
stop.
what
We're
it's,
derailing
you're
it.
saying.
We're
It's
derailing-
justifiable. I
We're
don't know.
moving off the point. The point is whether or not these things are commonplace and they're socially accepted. And so my point to you is it's absolutely socially accepted to make any comment you want about someone being skinny, but as far as being fat, that is different.
Sure. Okay. But they're both bad.
So as
I
long as
guess,
that's the
right?
case, we can just make
They're
fun of everybody
different,
for anything.
but they're
It's
kind
not
of both
based.
bad.
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
if how about this? If somebody if somebody went on a date with a woman
Mhm.
and they found out that she couldn't have kids or something like that,
Make fun of her uterus.
yeah, and make fun of her for like calling her barren or whatever, would
Called
that
a
be
uterus.
acceptable?
Yeah.
In what context? So
Uh,
Are you asking me if
Well, they're
they should be
lying and you
able
didn't
to-
get the
Sure, sure, sure.
consensual date. Like that's what the fundamentals is. Would you be able
Hold
to
up,
make
hold
fun
up.
of
No,
her
no,
for
stop,
being
stop.
barren?
If
That's the
she,
question.
if she's going on a bunch of dates, or she's getting in relationships with people, and she's lying about the fact that she can or can't have a kid, yeah, roast her.
Yeah, I just disagree with that. That seems shitty. That person
That's fine,
obviously
and
that
you can
person is obviously
disagree.
struggling with the fact that they can't have kids, and that's really eating at them. So I wouldn't fuck with them on that.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
And
It's
that's
like
perfectly
Abba doesn't
fine.
understand intergenerational trauma or anything at
Oh
all.
my
No, it's not
Let's
that.
try.
I think the biggest problem is that like, so your argument is that like you shouldn't be getting after me for making this because it's really socially acceptable to do it to these other like to short people, right? Okay, so fast forward 20 years. If it's now unacceptable to make fun of short people, would you be backing off of
That's
this
not
trend?
that you're misrepresenting my premise. My premise is simple: is that we should be able to make fun of folks for pretty much anything. Now, I exclude slur out of it because of the historical context of them. But outside of that, I think you should be able to make fun of people for pretty much anything. Now, if you want to say to me that there are certain situations in which it's inappropriate to, for example, let's say if someone's just walking down the street and you start roasting them, I wouldn't say that's okay. They didn't do anything to deserve that, or they didn't even really get. But if someone does something evil, okay, and we as a society pretty much accept it, or someone does someone that you think is extremely unethical, plenty of people feel it's fine to roast folks.
Do you
Now,
feel like
may
it's
disagree.
extremely unethical? Is that what you're saying? To not tell people you're like fat or barren? Is that what you're saying?
What you just say?
Do you think it's extremely unethical for somebody to not say that they can't have kids on a date? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if you're going into a relationship and you're spending all that time misrepresenting the fact that you can't have kids if someone asks, or if you you being barren or not is not something that you would just convey to somebody initially. If you're taking pictures online and you're hiding the fact that you're fat, that's completely different than conveying to someone the fact that you're barren or not. Do you not see the difference between those two things?
Obviously, like this is so
This
obvious.
is so
This is
autistic. Like these comparisons are fucking stupid.
Imagine
Okay,
telling
one more-
a sexual assault victim and being like, well, if you're not immediately open with the person you're talking to that, hey, you've got a bit of trauma around sexuality, that now you're catfishing. Nobody's making that argument. There's a big gap between like not telling people like very deep, personal, intimate details about yourself versus lying about how you look.
Excuse
These
me,
are
what could be
obviously
more
different things.
what could be
Sure.
more
Here
deep
we
and
go.
intimate than how much you
How about
weigh?
this?
You're literally saying people should put a fucking scale in their second picture and they need to disclose their exact weight. What's next? Their
Okay.
waist measurements?
Oh,
their
all
bra
right.
I have
count?
one, I
How
have
much
one
do you need
other
to
example.
disclose?
I have one other
Tyler,
example that I
there's
think
a
would work
picture
really well in
when
this.
you
I
see
have one
somebody
other
in real
example
life.
that I think would work really
When
well
you
in
see
this.
somebody in real life, you can evaluate how you like them, how you don't like
This
them.
is
You don't have to
fucking
call them
crazy,
a
bro.
fucking whale. That is disgusting.
I
so
agree
I
so
think-
much. Thank you so much, Destiny.
If you're
for
not
being a fat
arguing
ally.
seriously, I can't do it.
What are you talking
Okay,
about? This
what
is he's
if-
being a fat ally right now. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
just call it all a joke, dude. Whatever you
Yeah,
want to do.
But I
you know,
can,
whatever.
so-
I can hear the fucking snickering line.
You guys are just downplaying. You guys are just downplaying. Wait, you
You're
guys are
really
just,
close to making an acceptable joke to
new
Abba there,
example.
okay?
New example.
Oh,
Okay,
here we
new
go.
example. A trans woman goes
Oh,
on
my
a
days.
date, doesn't disclose that she is trans.
Nah, I
The
know my mic is
person,
muted.
Well, you
calls
can.
her
You can. Wait, hold on.
a-
You can tell though, right?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Let's hear good. Sorry, go
All
ahead.
right.
okay, so what I was saying, a trans woman goes on a date with somebody, doesn't disclose that she's trans, and that person, upon finding out that they are trans, calls them a man.
But that's a different thing.
Are you comparing misgendering somebody intentionally to?
Well, you
calling
understand the
I'm just
fundamentals of
asking.
her
I'm
argument.
just asking. I'm not
No,
making
it's
one
not the
argument
same.
one way or the other. I'm
Is
just
it okay
asking.
to? Is it
These
okay to
things are
roast
not
that?
analogous.
Is
It's
it?
like
Yes, they
not
are.
crazy to
Somebody
me.
Wait, hold on.
Being
Can you
mean
can you
isn't
roast
the same
that
as
person?
cracking jokes.
What?
Can you roast a trans person? Absolutely.
No. Okay.
What would you
Sorry,
say?
sorry, I
I'm
just-
not-
you know, I
I'm
need
not
a
trying
second.
to make an argument one way or the other. I was just asking.
I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry. I can't construct an argument. But fundamentally, what she's asking.
Let's
Hey.
move on from this example because it's stupid.
I want
This
to. I would
doesn't
no.
make
It's a
sense.
good example. I just think you want
Yeah,
it to be
'cause it
stupid
crushes you.
because it
It's stupid.
destroys your entire
Oh my
like
God.
all of your
No,
logic. You
Oh
fucking.
my God.
I have a better example
my
though
God.
than this
Wait.
one.
Oh,
Let's
here we
put
go.
forward.
Okay, what if
So I'm not muted.
what if
You're
a-
not
Kylo,
muted.
dear
We can
God,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
Dude, these
Okay.
crazy conversation.
Yeah, there's a guy in here named what's his name? Gut King or something like that.
How the?
Papa
Wait,
Gut?
hold on. How? Wait, hold on. You can see my fucking name. Like you can't read Papa Gut, dude.
No, I can't read Papa Gut.
That's unfortunate.
Just like you don't understand. For some reason, you don't understand. So we're talking about people fat shaming. but at the
Wait.
same
Hold on.
time,
How come
what
you
are
came in?
doing?
So, how come you came in so disrespectful by not saying my name
I've
the
seen
right
a
way?
couple of videos that you did that was disrespect.
Oh shit! Like what? What'd I do? A lot of people are
What are
calling
you
me out on
talking about?
videos
You're
today.
reacting
Yeah,
to something
Jesus
that's fake.
Christ.
So I don't know. Maybe I should react to a Papa Gut fat shaming video.
I'd be pretty funny actually. You should do that.
Is there anything I could actually look at since we're on the topic of
There's a
not being
lot.
able to talk about fat people, but put black people in the same? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that you should react to any video you want and put it on your main channel.
Papa Gut. I never even heard of this guy until today.
I think
Oh,
that
no,
you should.
don't react
I
Wait, hold on. What is
I just had to hop in for the simple
what's
fact
the
that I
video?
seen something about
What's the
fat
video that I reacted to that you feel like is bad?
Come on, man. Don't play stupid.
I don't. What's the video? Wait, hold on.
Was here defending Arabis, and now he was saying something about black people.
Hold on. What is it? What's the video that you're referring to?
I'm the perfect guy. I'm the perfect black guy on the internet to react to for a reaction. So
okay, what is that? I'm not. Just be upfront and honest about what your problem is. Like, don't play the dancing game. What is it?
There is no actual problem. I just actually seen that there was a fat guy who was complaining about being fat shamed. So how can you?
I wasn't personally fat shamed. As a fat man, nobody fat shames me. So that's the thing. But what's the video?
How can somebody complain about being fat shamed when it's a cosmetic issue that can be fixed?
Well, it's not just cosmetic. It's bad for your arteries too. But my question is, like, what video are you referring to?
Now we're going back to the video
because you said that I made a disrespectful video. It sounds like you're not going to bring up the video because you have no argument. I don't think you're hiding.
I'm going to moderate. Just okay. So, low tier guy, is there a video that you want to bring up with him, or do you want to just talk about this fat shaming stuff?
I mean, it's not really about the video, but since he talked about me, I thought that I would hop in.
Yeah. I think I talked about.
But what do you want? What do you want to say to this? What do you want to say to him?
What do I want to say about fat shaming? It doesn't exist.
Okay. I disagree.
Go on, high tier god. Go for it.
Fat shaming doesn't exist because it's a cosmetic issue. It's controllable. So how can you shame something that's controllable?
So
I think it exists. You're just fine with it.
So absolutely, 100%. Every fat person that's fat, it's their fault, right? Even with medical. Where's the moderation, dude? Sorry, I was just being a little fun. Listen. It is 100% the responsibility of any fat person that they're fat. Like, even a health issue makes it harder, but you can usually do something. It's got to be like a huge outlier to not be fat. That being said, it's usually the behaviors that a fat person is like exhibiting. A lot of times it's some kind of like mental health thing or like a bad relationship with food, stress eating or something, or coping with eating, hating themselves to the point where they don't want to move or they don't want to act. Well, yeah, move. Don't want to actually like move into a better place of being more healthy. Like, that's the issue, right? I don't think that we should go around just shitting on fat people just for their existence of being fat. It's fine to like talk shit about fat people, make jokes. I just don't think that it's always warranted to just constantly criticize people for being fat for no reason. It's just a respect thing. I don't think that people should just do it as like lighthearted, fun jokes. That's fine, but that's fundamentally how I feel about that.
We're not shitting on fat people. What we're doing is actually not allowing them to feel bad about, basically saying that they're fat when it's something.
Well, no. So what's happening is like, this is like the concern troll argument. We're like, well, what we're trying to do is help them not be fat by making them realize it's bad. If you actually want fat people to lose weight, you wouldn't like go into a route that's like effectively to an extent like bullies people. Fat people who feel bullied are just going to continue to eat because they're not going to care about themselves and they're slowly going to eat themselves to death. If you actually,
that's actually not entirely
true. That's mostly true.
No, hold on. And there are some cultures in which fat shaming is very prevalent and that people do keep their obesity down. They do report that in some foreign countries. Also, I would also say that not everyone has the same modus operandi, meaning for some people they react really well. So some people react really well to negative stimuli or like negative.
I think that most people don't.
But if you want to make the argument that it's not the most effective way, I do agree. I just don't think it's for everyone.
Well, that's what I. Wait, hold on. That's what I just said in the same words. So thank you for agreeing with me. But that's what I'm.
That's not what you said. But okay.
I said that generally speaking, shaming fat people is not going to make them lose weight. So if you actually care, you're not going to like shame fat people. There are people who respond really well to it, but that's the argument that I made.
True, and it's not about health. That's always been like a huge concern, troll, because I mean, maybe this is anecdotal, but I feel like fat people get more shit even at the gym than skinny, ripped people do for working out.
100%.
Like people side-eye fat people for trying to work out. They're literally in the environment where they're trying to make themselves better and improve.
So rare. That is actually not.
That's actually
really
so
true.
cap.
Most
people.
Wait. Why is that rare?
That's a lie.
Why is that rare?
Who go to the gym
this
are
is so
actually encouraged by.
No, it's not. It's not true. It's not
true.
It's just not true. Wait, hold on. What are you guys getting this from? Like, what's your experience with this situation?
I've been a regular member of multiple gym cultures for years. The reality is that anyone who does
Have you ever been fat, Kyla?
Wait, no, it's not even. No. Wait, hold on.
Kyla, that's like coming in and saying, "I've never been racially discriminated against," and saying racial discrimination doesn't exist.
Let me.
You know about
wait.
Can
I respond?
Let me. What I'm saying is,
and now she won't go to the point.
Hold on. Just to be clear, there are people who sometimes do this at gyms, but any regular gym goer will absolutely shame the fuck out of.
Hold on. Can I?
That's completely false. That's completely false.
Sorry, Papa. You don't have time to talk here. Kyla's telling us about her fat experience.
Listen,
go ahead, pretty woman Kyla. Tell us, please. What do fat people experience at your climbing gym? Kyla, how many fat people do you see at your fucking climbing gyms?
Hey,
listen.
They're what they're being climbed from.
There's actually a lot. So I'll let Papa go and then look your God. So go ahead, Papa.
Okay, so listen. people don't know this about me, but like I used to like train a little bit more seriously. Not super serious. I was never super strong. I had like a 600-pound pull. I had like a 250-pound log press. I used to do like farmers walks. I loved strongman. And I still do, but like in every single serious gym circle, everybody is the nicest person I've ever been in my life. But those don't make up the majority of gym goers. Most gym goers are like kind of not most are assholes, but I know as like a fat person at the gym, I still would get criticized for being fat. You could overhear it. They're snickering, they're laughing. Whoa!
I do it all the time.
Hold on.
Stop. Let him
Me and Abby go to the gym and we make fun of fat people constantly.
Destiny, I know it's your stream, but I'm taking control.
It's the same thing with like some of my fat friends. Even when they're more serious about like lifting and they know what they're doing, people still like laugh and snicker. It's not the serious gym goers that like believe in gym culture. Those people are usually like great people. It's the most of the other people who go to these gyms that are like fucking assholes. That's what it comes down to. And it can be very difficult for fat people to like go to the gym and then like get looked at and snickered at and be like, oh, this is disgusting. Even if they're walking on the treadmill and they're like, ew, well, gross. Yeah. That's a thing. Sure.
Okay. I just want you to like understand where I'm coming from with this.
I already do.
Like, even if you don't think
hold on.
Sorry, not me. Sorry.
I said low tier God would go next. I'm sorry, Aaron. You're gonna have to wait. Okay, we'll get the communist reign afterwards. Low tier God.
I'm not good at that, but okay.
Can I go after the communist?
No, I'm just saying for somebody that hits the gym.
The cherry?
Oh my God. About 6-7 days a week. So if anything, I've never actually made fun of anybody that is fat and trying to lose the weight. It's more so I'm clowning the people who are trying to look cool while working out. Like wearing fucking Balenciaga sneakers while working out, dunks. Like we don't make fun of fat people in the gym. That's just, I
know you don't, low tier God, but I'm saying, do you think it's unreasonable for?
I do.
Some do.
What?
Yes.
Guys,
Some
stop.
Do.
Listen, you guys are using your female privilege to cut him off. Please, low tier God, finish.
I'm just saying, me personally, somebody that has been going to the gym for years, I've never even been in any type of circle where we're clowning somebody that's being fat. If anything, we're clowning people who, like I said, are trying to look cool, or females that are wearing like booty scrunchy shorts. I call it ass fishing. Like we're laughing at shit like that. We're not laughing at the people that's really trying to correct, the mistake or correct the eating habits and fix themselves. Because like I said, being overweight is a cosmetic issue. It's something that you can't help and can't fix.
Well, how do you know that they're not trying to correct themselves? Yeah. Like fat people aren't just going to go around and be like, I'm trying to correct myself. Like in general, how do you know? Like just the fundamentally.
Can I speak as someone who was obese and lost the weight? Because I feel like this always gets hijacked by gets hijacked by fat people who are still fucking fat. You guys have a lot of excuses because it's really hard to lose the weight. I was fat. Oh my God. I went to the gym. I lost the weight. No one was fucking laughing at me, and it's really hard work. But like, I don't know. I just imagine in my head
hard work. Didn't you get a surgery?
Excuses. Yeah. Do you think that I can? Do you think that you can only overcome obesity without?
That's cheating, though.
Without going to the gym.
I'm not even gonna front you. Bipolar is so awesome. This shit was lit.
It's not bipolar. It's borderline. But
borderline.
No,
shit. Hey, Cherry, you got me on the border of my seat right now.
Cherry said, "How can I make this
wait,
about
hold on, guys. I want to go back
we're
to Aaron.
talking about obesity.
Hold on, I have a huge issue right now.
Do you think that the success rate after a gastric surgery is high?
Isn't it like 5%?
Yeah. It's incredibly
low. The relapse
low,
rate is through the roof. That surgery does not solve the fucking problem. You have to actually carve your diet. You have to actually go to the fucking gym and not just quit because you think somebody's laughing at you. No one's paying attention to you. Okay?
Yikes.
You don't look good
Bad look
after
for
surgery.
you, Lav. Oof. You just got fucking destroyed.
And I've had weight off for 3 fucking years.
Guys.
I don't know. I want to go to. I've always been very perfect.
Okay, we're gonna stop. No.
Damn.
So Aaron has been patiently waiting, and even though she's a communist, she waited her turn. You go next.
Thank you. I just want to say that I feel like you guys are kind of like, you have to have your head up your ass if you guys seriously don't think that it's harder to work out as a fat person and more like self-conscious than you are if you're skinny.
Yes,
because
self-conscious, internal.
Wait, can I
stop? Hold up, Cherry, please.
Can I please make my fucking point? Okay.
You'll have more.
So you're telling me that there's no difference between the way fat people working out in a gym are viewed as athletic people, right? That's what you guys are saying. Like, there's no difference between these things. All of these patrons are treated basically the same.
I think we should compare.
Can I respond?
Because
go ahead, Kyla, go ahead.
Wait, I
what?
didn't get to finish making my point.
Oh, you asked a question. I'm sorry. I thought you were wanting to respond. Sorry.
No. I just think that like Okay, if I'm imagining, like, okay, somebody gives me the option, like, you could go into the gym right now with a 6-pack, or you could go in 600 pounds, and, like, which would you rather do? How would you rather look if you had to go in there and do jumping jacks in front of everybody?
But okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but it sounds like what they're alleging is that fat people going to the gym are not receiving this kind of discrimination that's trying to discourage them. Just because you feel self-conscious or you're feeling weird, it doesn't mean that when you go into the gym, a bunch of people are making comments about you or trying to discourage you. In fact, what they're alleging is that the opposite's happening, that people are generally very supportive, and that if fat people are trying to change their life, most people get behind them. And I'll just say briefly, anecdotally, when I was on forums, like when I was on online forums live, especially like the one called bodybuilding.com, there was actually so many stories of people going from fat to skinny. And like, I'm telling you, the entire forum was getting behind these people and they're changing stories. I do not feel like that same thing happens when it comes to skinny people. So in terms of societal encouragement for people trying to change their life, I think generally people are very supportive of folks who are trying to go through that.
Yes. Yes.
And
okay, there are. Can I just outline?
So you can go ahead, Erudite, and then we'll go to Lav.
Thank you, Sensei. Okay, there are, just to be clear, certain subsets of people in the gym that will be nasty to fat people. I'm not going to pretend that they don't exist. They're usually one of three types. They're fucking Sarm Goblin teenagers, psychopath CEO antisocial gym guys, or the old 40-year-old guy who's like, back in my day, I was the quarterback in high school. And then they do like the most insane athletic stuff that you know is breaking their body.
And
those
omniliberals.
people
We do it too.
will sometimes snicker. The antisocial, the gym teenagers are going to snicker and make comments. The 40-year-old men are going to like look down at you and whatnot. The reality, though, is that there's a small subset of gym goers that are mean to fat people and do judge them. There's a really small subset as well that also goes above and beyond to give extra assistance and support to fat people. And the mass majority of people in the gym, most of your gym bros, most of your average gym goers, feel slightly positive about the fact that people are making good life choices. That's the reality of the gym.
True.
Why is it that every time you talk, you try to sound like you're saying a sermon? Do you need to do that?
Period, queen.
Hey, listen, that's just not my experience, but I appreciate what you're saying.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to go to Lav. Lav is a formerly always skinny person. What do you want to say?
Please, Lav, we need your input on this desperately.
We should talk about like proper squat depth is I think what we should talk about.
I think she's gone.
Speechless.
Cherry, what did you want to say?
No, I'm back.
I wanted to say for okay.
Sorry.
Lav heard it was her chance to talk. She came running through the house.
She's galloping for attention. Well, go ahead, Lav.
As someone with a perfect body, the perfect feminine body. No, I used to be a little chubby, but
shut up. It's stolen valor. Stop.
Yes, no, I was 150 pounds at 5'1", which is definitely chubby.
Okay, it's okay. We won't just go ahead. Believe her.
Okay, I don't. But go ahead.
Believe her. But I think that this whole gym talk, who the fuck cares? Isn't diet like 15% of what makes you lose weight? Just stop eating.
It's like 95%.
True.
The person with an eating disorder tells people to stop eating.
Well, she's not wrong. You don't have to go to the gym. It's more about like calories in, calories out.
No need to get personal.
Do I have an eating disorder?
Stop. We're not going to get into personal stuff. I think it always veers off into
If you don't, you should.
When Cherry is like, why you bring up my BPD?
Okay, I really don't care about your beef with Cherry, so let's just move past it. So,
well, hold on. Maybe we need to address this.
All right,
it's
so
personal.
without making personal attacks, I would say, without making personal attacks, eating healthy is absolutely a huge part of it. And the way to eat healthy is not by starving yourself. People in the gym who get the most...
No, you don't need to starve yourself, but you need to be in a caloric deficit. Like, even...
Oh my God, she's a physicist too.
Your metabolic rate is set by your muscle amount.
Just stop eating is not making that clear.
If you stop eating, you will lose weight. I mean,
that's true. But it's not a healthy habit. I mean, that's one of the problems.
It depends on somebody's metabolism.
A huge way, yeah. Your metabolism is set by your muscle amount. Like if you have a lot of extra muscle, it increases your resting metabolic rate.
Hello.
Yeah, but it makes you hungrier.
Hold on. That is not cope. I'm just spitting facts. If I sound like a preacher, it's because I'm fucking preaching the truth right now, brothers and sisters. Okay.
Massive cope. We got some white woman privilege.
No one knows too much about.
Hold on, wait. If that was true, then shouldn't fat people lose tons of weight because they have to have more muscle to carry around all their fat?
They
do lose weight really quickly.
Oh wow! So in the world of Kyla, here's Kyla's math. Okay, if you want to lose weight, gain more muscle, which you do by getting fat, and now you can eat more. Now you're going to magically lose weight. Why would anybody be fat ever then?
If you don't change your diet at all, and you just still have surplus of calories, it's a problem. But one of the fastest ways to lose weight is to decrease your diet a little bit and hold on a bunch of muscle. This is just like.
Oh, so you're saying you can build muscle and be on a huge caloric deficit at the same time?
Technically, the fastest way to lose weight is to
nobody
speed up your
told me I was
metabolism.
quiet as fuck? Huh? How come nobody told me I was quiet as fuck?
Because that's how we
I've been
prefer
sitting
you,
here-
Stardust, when we can barely hear you. That's just how we like it.
Damn.
Okay,
Wow.
so
That's fucked up.
I like Stardust.
So I'm just trolling. Don't worry, I'm just playing.
So
No. You said it. So now it's done, Ava. It's done. We're enemies now.
20 minutes of cardio. Like, you don't need to work out that fucking much. You just need to eat a fuck ton less.
And there's that woman privilege, that pretty woman privilege. There it is.
No,
Well, can I
Now you
as
don't even need to work out.
For eating disorders.
can I as
Erudite, the other body in chat, tell us.
can I
I would love.
Sorry, Papa, we're listening.
Can
to
I-
the pretty
can I-
women
can
right
I-
now
can
telling us
I,
how to build
I
our
feel like
bodies.
instead of just talking about pseudoscience and what people
Well,
think they know about
here-
fitness, can we not just get back to the original
Well-
discussion, which is about fat shaming?
No, I kind of like this.
No,
one,
this is fine. The fat shaming conversation is boring. I want to
I'm not
have
encouraging people to be anorexic. I'm encouraging people to put on muscle mass
Hold on.
and keep eating, and you'll.
Well,
still
give me
know.
a good
Heads
routine.
up,
Hold
Kyla
on.
literally
Oh my
believes in
God.
fucking Ayurvedic medicine, okay? Ayurvedic medicine, and she's telling you how to diet.
Oh no, even I know Ayurvedic isn't all that.
Okay.
So
All right,
Like, you're
guys,
too
guys,
vanilla erudite, so I'm going to trigger the fuck out of you.
We're
you're
losing.
struggling
wait,
with
really? Are you into
Making
the
everything
Ayurvedic
about
stuff?
yourself.
We're losing the plot. So let's come back to the
I
original.
got
No,
Wow.
well, let's not go back to the original. I think we've exhausted the
No,
original.
because
But it's
low tier
fucking-
God,
okay.
low tier God still got a beef with you, and that's what we
Okay,
really wanna
okay.
get
All
back
right,
to,
give me the beef. What's up, brother? I don't know why you
So-
hate me so much.
so-
Very
so
sad.
look-
I'm not
What's
sure we have the beef. I literally just found out about this guy today. Somebody in my chat was like, "Yo, this guy dropped 2 videos on you." I'm like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Hold on.
I want to ask you.
Wait, let me respond to that really quick. I watched
go
your
for it.
conversation with Destiny. I thought it was cool. That was like one of the videos I talked about. That's
all you said?
That I didn't look
no.
at,
Actually,
but
I
it's just-
thought it was actually good. I didn't like fuck low tier God. What a piece of
Okay,
shit.
but don't suck him off in person. Now I want you to be honest, okay?
What-
Papa God.
okay, all right.
What's your beef with low tier God?
You want to know my
Just
okay? You want to know my
Just
biggest
get
beef
to
with
it.
him is that
Yeah.
I watch your squat depth is terrible.
No, don't joke around. Be serious.
Oh my
I don't have
God.
any. I don't have any
Hold on,
fucking
hold on.
beef with this guy.
All right,
What are you
so-
talking about? I don't know what you.
So wait. Squat depth is terrible. Okay, so
bro.
let me
It's-
ask you a question. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Okay, 6'4". I'm 6'5".
Okay.
Squat depth. I mean, you know what range of motion is. I usually go ass to grass. What are you talking about?
I don't know, bro. I saw a video. It looked like you were half squatting, brother.
What video is this? You're talking about the video from what 3 years ago?
I don't know. Maybe. Sure.
I think
Yeah,
he's
it was
just trolling.
probably. A
I was
video
kind
from 3
of
years
just
ago.
like joking around with it, but like, yeah, I did see that. But I'm like, okay, your form got better. I don't really care. I have no actual beef with you.
Yeah, I don't have any beef either. But my
Oh,
thing
okay.
is when I see
Cool.
people
You guys should piss.
try to react to the June the King bullshit, that's what I'm like. Okay,
I did watch that video.
Ooh, I see that. So it's a video titled "From Immovable to Delusion: Low Tier God's Story" on Papa God's channel. What do you say to that?
I did.
Immovable to delusional.
I
Yeah,
did
it's not even a
watch.
story. It's like some
Yeah.
random guy that just
So
everybody in my personal life yo, this guy dropped a documentary on me. I'm like, how's there a documentary on me when I've never literally gave out any information? So when I
Okay.
see people react to that, I'm like, what?
well,
the
you're a
fuck is this?
public.
Like,
You're a
okay, it's
public
another
figure,
troll.
so I imagine there's some information that might be true, right? Like, are you saying that
Not
the
unless you
documentary
sit
is
down and had
terrible?
a conversation with me and asked. I mean, how
Okay.
do you get information I've never released?
Well, is there anything that you want to tell me to like set the record straight on that? Like I got wrong or something?
Because a little late now, isn't it?
Well,
you just went. Oh my God! You
Yeah,
just went
like,
full
like,
Abba, didn't
been
you?
out since, like,
Oh,
like,
no.
2018, 2019. Like, I think it's a little bit too late. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody's gonna put whatever narrative they want.
Okay.
That's
But
true.
usually when I see people react to that, I'm like, yo, okay,
And
it's
you've
this
had that
guy.
video up for 7 months. just
That's
spreading
true.
Misinformation. Are you going to delete
Well,
it?
here's the thing.
7 months.
This is the problem, dude. Is I'm just a React Andy, so I didn't actually add anything to the video. It's basically just a re-upload.
So you
Wow,
just,
wasn't
you
that
just
what
spread
Abba was saying no
misinformation.
about?
What's
So
that?
you just spread misinformation.
Well, so first of
and
all,
you don't care.
I know there was like a world trolling. I don't know what in there is misinformation. Just because you're saying it's misinformation
trolling?
doesn't mean
Yeah,
that
have
it's
you done the basic
misinformation.
amount of research necessary to
No,
know
you're.
it's
I did.
misinformation before you started profiting
I
from it?
did not check his TikTok. That's right. That's true. I didn't check his TikTok beforehand. I don't know what's in there that's inaccurate. I mean, maybe
Okay.
it wasn't accurate. Maybe it was
I'm gonna
accurate.
ask. ask the real question. Low tier God, what's your problem with fat people and this whole fat acceptance movement, like for body positivity shit?
You know what? I feel like body dysmorphia is worse than anything fat people have to deal with. So when I say body dysmorphia, I'm saying somebody like me. So I was like that skinny kid who, if you called me skinny, it used to just kill me. Like, that's all you had to do growing up is just call me skinny. So for me, like, as many people tell me like, oh, you're big, or oh, you're in great shape, this and that. For me, there's still like somewhat of a body dysmorphia issue for me.
Mm.
as confident as I am, it's still like something I think about in the back of my head. Like, oh man, my chest isn't big enough, my arms aren't big enough. But to the general public, they're telling me I'm perfect.
I feel like, can I just regurgitate your argument that it's a cosmetic issue? So who cares? Like, because I'm sympathetic to it because I know there's a lot of skinny people. But before you're like, there's no such thing as fat shaming; it's a cosmetic issue. Now you're saying I had an issue with being like skinny shamed, basically, but it's just a cosmetic issue. Yeah, right. But by your logic, it's irrelevant because it's just. It's just.
Well, it was fixable. That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, fixable is like different from like not mattering. It's like a real thing. Like, yeah, skinny people. First of all, nobody talks about skinny people. They should, because like it's shitty when you're skinny. It's hard to gain weight for a lot of people. It's hard to eat as much as you can.
If you're going to talk about fat shaming, at least have it collaterally be right there with skinny shaming. Nobody talks about skinny shaming.
Sure. Well, I would say that it would be more productive to talk more about skinny shaming instead of dunking on fat shaming when the opportunity strikes.
True.
Because I'm a fat guy, so I'm obviously going to be a little more connected to fat people. I'm not super connected to skinny people.
Skinny guys, so I'm going to be more connected to
I respect that.
People who can't put on mass. It's easier to lose the weight than to put on muscle.
Probably, sure. It might. I don't know if it's a known fact. I mean, it's all calories in, calories out. I don't know if that's a known fact. You cite your sources, sir. Send me your research.
Look it up. Okay.
I feel like it's just a different struggle. I don't know.
Let's go off the hypothetical that it is true because it's low tier God. So what do you go from there?
Well, I would say I don't think it's true. I just think that they're both like a different struggle and they both suck.
No, but why does it matter whether or not it's easier? What does that change?
I don't think it's. I'm not the one who said.
No, I'm asking low tier God.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because that would mean that somebody who is obese has less room to complain when it's easier to burn butter. It's harder.
I think it's simpler. I don't know if it's easier necessarily. I just think
it's literally easier to burn and melt butter than it is to sculpt a statue.
Yeah, but have you ever had a really good piece of pizza and you can't stop eating it, bro? Come on.
I mean, I actually ate a whole pizza like a couple of days ago, but I mean, I know my body. But I mean, if you're somebody who holds on to fat, in certain areas, I mean, there's certain shit you're not supposed to eat. I mean, it's easier to speed up your metabolism if you're fat. It's easier to melt the butter if you're fat. It's harder to put on muscle and maintain muscle than it is to lose weight. It's just easier. It's just
it's harder to put on muscle because you have to work out. But at
a certain time, you eat the same shit.
Have you ever been hungry though? Like
I think people that are just big, they just love flavor.
I think for a lot of people, it's just like a lot of times people use food as like a coping mechanism when they're like stressed out and shit like that. But
I'm mad at that. Low tier, you as somebody who likes making jokes about all kinds of people, do you partake in making jokes about fat people too?
It depends. Like I would say I used to, but now it's more like I want to fix people. Because if I see you're complaining about it, I'd rather just help you fix it versus clowning about it. Like the Boogie video from so many years ago.
Why can't you do that, Abba? Why are you saying facts now when you're calling girls whales? Abba over here calls 17-year-old girls whales when they're fat.
Damn. Where was the path to like, how come nobody? That's what I want to talk about before Abba wanted to bring it back.
Because I'm not trying to fix them. I don't give a fuck.
There you go.
I mean, when you think about it, so somebody that's fat, that's not even the best version. It's not the best looking version. They sound different when they're fat. Like my best friend is fat, so he's never gonna be his best version of himself or even talk correct. Like when people lose weight, their voice even changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like better or worse?
Like what be the best version? I mean, there's two different versions of Majin Buu. There's like the fat one, and then when he gets skinny, he has all this extra power.
The fat one was nicer. The skinny guy was evil. And he was killing people. So, like by this logic, I should say fat because skinny people are evil.
So
I mean, I thought the skinny.
I want to ask you. You said you want to fix them. How are you trying to fix them?
Personal perfection. I feel like nobody that's actually fat is really 100% comfortable in their own skin.
Well, yeah, that's true.
As much as Lizzo says that she's like,
not a profound
oh man, I just love being fat. Like it's big girl power. Like, come on, she's not really that happy being obese.
It's frustrating.
It's a cope. It's a cope so that she doesn't hate herself.
They put it in our face that they're like happy, like that.
Yes. But wait, hold on.
TikTok that say that they love their body, and they look at Nick Avocado, whoever the hell that is, and he's like, I'm happy to be rich. Are you really? I don't think he's.
Wait, but do you understand there's a difference between saying loving your body versus loving being fat? Those are not the same thing. Loving your body is about coming to terms with you to have more confidence so you stop eating yourself to death. It's not about how I
Yeah,
like it's not the same. I feel like some people, listen, there's fucking crazy fat people on the internet. Before, you guys were talking about how I would like dunk on like liberals basically before. And I used to do that because I used to be a little more edgy, a little cooler, a little more based. But then I got like a little older and I started to learn, like, I even dunked on like the fat positivity shit until I realized that like it's about like not hating yourself. No, hold on.
That's cap.
This is such a mind read, though. You're basically saying like it doesn't matter, no matter what they say. There's no way that they could possibly be happy or like content with their body. And it's like that's just we can't.
You said that,
that's
me?
just not. No. Sorry,
sorry.
I'm disagreeing with Cherry right
I'm bad at these group
now.
conversations.
No, so I'm
like we're doing a mind
I
read.
have watched
I don't think it's a mind
hours
read.
of
I don't
fat
think it's a mind
liberation
read.
TikTok shit. Okay, they go on there and they say that they are like.
That's a fringe group of people.
I think those people are the minority.
That's a fringe.
Well, I think those people are the minority,
that's
though.
what is worth criticizing.
Okay,
Yeah, but
hold
you've
up.
got to think about like
it's worth
women with
criticizing,
like
but I think
It's not a
PCOS.
mind read. It's not a mind read. Can we just stop that just for a second? Listen, and let's also just be clear. When we're talking about fat people, we're not talking about somebody with love handles. We're not talking about someone with X-ray. I'm talking about like morbidly obese people. Can we stop the whole fun thing with like, oh, they're good with their body? They're not good with their body. Okay, it is completely uncomfortable to be that obese. First off, the kind of health issues that you encounter from being able to breathing, sleeping, in terms of just getting up, the kind of pains that you develop. Like, let's stop this idea that they're happy with their body. They can say, okay, I'm accepting where I'm at. I'm not going to punish myself every day and hate
Well, that's
myself.
what they're saying,
But no. That's
Most people
a
are
lie.
saying.
Stop. The reason why I say that's a lie is because when you see a lot of this movement develop, you're seeing these articles being developed. You're seeing
They
the
don't
narrative
move,
being
bro.
put. Stop. During COVID, I strictly remember everyone saying you really couldn't be that open about the comorbidity issues of fat people when it comes to their likelihood of dying of COVID because they said it was fucking fat shaming. And that was a mainstream narrative. Let's just stop with the fat cope where we're saying stuff like, oh no, that's what the movement is not about that, because once you see it applied in real life, it's literally out here killing people. We're having a hard time having
I never heard that
discussion.
narrative. Where'd you see that?
You didn't hear the
Narrative,
narrative of the
Abba.
fact?
I don't know. I thought you like I didn't actually see that narrative. I've seen people on TikTok like going fucking ballistic, but a lot of these people are just loud minorities in a particular group.
It
that
is
don't
minorities, like
represent-
ABBA. I literally hear people complaining about this.
I know you want to troll. I know you want to troll, but I really don't care. I'm going to be honest, and this is something that really pisses me off, okay? Because especially for the Black community, obesity was a huge problem, and that's why they overwhelmingly were dying from this shit. And the fact that we can't comfortably have a national discussion about the fact that fucking fat people are dying far more from COVID and being open about the fact that we need to change some of our ways pisses me off to no end. And I know Destiny, you're trying to joke, and I appreciate you. That's not an issue. I'm just saying, for me, this issue is especially annoying because our community was the most affected one, and everybody wants to move around the issue, talk about, oh no, it's just about love. No, it's about avoiding difficult conversations because it's financially better for a lot of people to keep these people fucking fat. Okay, so I'm not going to accept that.
I think you're both actually a little bit
So
true here, though. Like the difference, I actually think that we're slightly talking past each other, because I would agree with Abba that there is kind of this cope where you're like not allowed to talk about the fact that there are major health deficits. The issue is that there's actually still difference though between like morbidly obese people and just fat people. And let's be honest, we see all of them as being fat, just like different degrees of it. And there's this element like this is like what Papa God is saying about like as far as like trying to learn how to love your body is actually like very common in binge like eating disordered like treatment and stuff. Is like the whole goal is not to say like I love being overweight, but it's to go like I have to accept my body as it is and like learn to love it because it's the only way that I'm going to stop abusing it with food. Like that's also true at the same time. And so it's like we have to like figure out in the conversation how to not lie about like some of the risks and implications with being obese, but also not like fully just like attack fat people and like tell them that they're icky all the time.
But I feel like because of this like obsession with being really okay with being fat and obese results in, I think, skinny people getting picked on.
I don't know if I
yeah,
get
but like
that.
skinny people getting picked on is like it's like when pretty girls are like I hate when guys
bully skinny
on
people.
TikTok.
I don't feel like skinny people get picked on.
Some of them do, but I haven't seen skinny
girl
bullying
pick
on
on
TikTok.
is the same as when like really pretty girls complain about how like everyone's always hit on them. It is really fucking annoying, but it's a very different type of problem than when you like you're a woman with PCOS and you work out and you cut your diet and you're trying super fucking hard, but your hormones are insane and you can't lose fucking weight. Yeah. And yet when people see you, they just think yuck, right?
The narrative right now is if you care about your diet or if you are even dieting, you are being fat phobic.
That's not the narrative. That's some crazy people saying that. Nobody actually believes that. That's not a real narrative.
That is actually what's happening with the
no, it's not happening. I have to. No, it's not happening.
Watch a lot of ABBA videos.
No, it's not happening. No. Hold on a second. Hold on.
What is the EST for?
Hold on. Let me just.
Okay, everyone, chill out because you guys are all just speaking over each other.
Exactly, and I'm the loudest because I'm a fucking white man. Okay, sorry, Jewish, but listen. There are people saying that. There are people saying like, oh, it's fat phobic to lose weight. That doesn't represent the majority of even fat people. Most fat people, to be real with you, just want you to stop talking about them, whether it's positive or negative. I think it's just as bad when somebody goes, oh my God, you're so confident when they post a picture of themselves, like look like, being overweight. That's just as bad as calling somebody like a fat pig. Like people just want you to stop talking about fat people. There are fucking crazy fat people, just like there's crazy everything in any group of people.
Okay,
I feel like
crazy then.
Hold on.
That's the problem that
nobody's saying you can't. I engage with the crazy. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I've made videos about these fucking crazy fat people.
Okay, that's literally where all my criticism is.
Oh, well, then
okay, then we'll talk about the extremes afterwards. But Papa Gut,
yes,
this is not just a fringe issue. When Cosmopolitan's coming up with a bunch of fucking national covers for "This is healthy" and using morbidly obese people talking about these people are perfectly healthy, it's fucking bullshit. Okay.
Well, what's
no.
Okay,
it's not just Cosmopolitan. It's not just Cosmopolitan. There was a series of articles that were tracked around the same time where on a national level, it's like, can you be fat and fit? More health experts say yes.
No, but is that not true?
No, hold on. No, you can't tell if a person is healthy just by looking at them. Can you be fat and fit or thin and unhealthy? Is it possible to be overweight and unhealthy? Can you be morbidly obese? As a personal trainer, I've seen people who are obese and extremely healthy. There's a national push to try to make this kind of stuff mainstream. When the reality is, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You keep finishing. I'm a little stupid. Go ahead if you want.
No, I think you're going to try to say, isn't it true?
No. Well, hold on. Listen. Okay. I know the healthiest that I ever was 330 when I used to train a lot. Like I had no health problems. I just got back from the doctor. I was pre-diabetic at the time. They were like, you need to get your shit together. I got my shit together. I was still very fat and I was healthy. I don't think that weight necessarily, I'm not saying that it doesn't always, because a lot of times you look at somebody fat, but it's about the habits that they've been engaging in. When you see a fat person, like, what do you think that I'm eating? Do you think that I'm having like fucking broccoli and chicken every day to get this fat? No, I'm probably eating like foods that are very like micronutrient, like not dense at all. If I ate more fibrous foods and I ate better, I could still be fat, but there's a less likely that it's going to happen. I think that the narrative of you need to lose weight is worse than saying you need to make healthier habits that could make you lose weight. Because we were saying like skinny people can be unhealthy. You literally were saying that you were unhealthy when you were skinny. I don't think it should just be about losing weight. It should be about eating healthy. And I will say one thing that I've been wanting to say is that not a single time in this conversation do we ever have a conversation about good advice to a fat person to start losing weight, other than saying you're fat, you're unhealthy.
RMR.
That's literally that was literally just you just made something up right there. That's not true at all.
What did I make up?
Stop. I remember Erudite just sitting there talking about the fact that if you just lower your calorie intake and then you increase your thing, you build your muscle mass. It's actually a great way.
Well, yeah, but we know that, but that's not specific, like fat specific advice. Because fat people.
Well, if you want us to do a whole live stream, we certainly can.
Okay,
it's really good advice, particularly for people who want to lose weight. Like genuinely, that's actually really good advice. I know people like laughed at me and like call me the preacher and stuff, but like I just want to be clear. That's actually a really effective way. I think the problem that I'm hearing between like LTG and Papa Gut specifically is LTG is saying it's easier to lose weight, and I would argue it's simpler. Like we've studied it more. We have better science about it. We broadly know how people lose weight, except for fringe cases like people with hyperthyroidism or women with like PCOS where we don't know what the fuck's going on. The issue is that putting on muscle, we don't have as simple of an answer. We don't know as well. We haven't studied it as much. It's a much more complex thing.
Go mad.
Protein and blah, 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 blah. Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. This is totally backwards. Putting on muscle is more well understood than losing weight. I think that losing weight and things related to appetite especially are incredibly complicated. The problem with just saying like just build muscle and eat less is like Papa Gut said, people aren't fat because they like fucking binge eat one day. It's like a lifetime of habits that are built up in terms of like dietary choices. No, what?
No, we don't really even know what hypertrophy is.
Like, all you have to do is go into the gym and pick things up and put them down. And if you're a reasonably healthy person, you will gain mass.
No, the reality.
No, that's not true.
This is what LTG is talking about. There's tons of skinny ass guys with super high metabolisms that eat like 6,000 calories.
No, there's not. That's not true. Hold on, stop. You are dead fucking wrong. Okay, there is not a huge variance in metabolic rates between people that have equivalent lean to fat muscle mass. That is not true. Unless you're talking about very rare things like PCOS or people like hyperthyroidism or something. Generally, people's metabolisms fall within like the same 300 calorie a day range. range, and saying that there are some people that are mysteriously skinny and can eat a ton of food and don't gain any weight is absolutely not true. That's like the biggest old lie ever.
No. I lived around a lot of black people. That's absolutely true.
Okay, I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. If we
hold on. Holy shit! No, that is absolutely not true. Here's the number one advice I give to every single person that ever says that is count your calories. And every single time somebody does that, what they come back with afterwards, they go, "Oh my god, I'm eating 1,900 calories a day." That is always the answer. There is no such thing as a person that is mysteriously skinny that's eating 32, 33, 3,500 calories a day. It never ever happens.
But if they are, a lot of skinny people also binge eat one day and then they won't eat like the next 2 days. Like that's the thing that a lot of people do. So even if they're eating a lot one day, they're just not eating the next day.
We've debunked this idea that there are people who have slower metabolisms. If we've debunked that, I think we can also debunk the idea that there are just magical people who have like so much faster.
I meant to say RMR. Okay, RMR is the better word. It's not metabolism. You're resting metabolic rate. That's more what I'm talking about. What isn't quite the same as metabolism, because RMR is a much more fluid thing that you can change. For example, if you're super active, for example, if you have a higher amount of muscle, you burn more often. Yes, this is true.
You just said stop.
He just started going to the gym, and so all of a sudden he's just going crazy.
Okay, hold on. What you call RMR is also referred to something called BMR. Okay, your resting metabolic rate or your basal metabolic rate. That is not contingent on the amount of activity you do. The more activity you do, the higher your TDEE is, which is your total daily estimated expenditure. That will increase if you do more activity. But your basal metabolic rate is basically just going to be a function of your lean to fat muscle mass. That's it. If you're an incredibly muscular person, if you've got like 8% fucking body fat and you weigh like 250 pounds, yeah, your RMR is going to go massively up. But it's not because of the daily activity you do, it's because of the composition of your body. Sorry.
Would you agree there's more of a
hard.
Kind of nerd speak.
We are capping hard when we say that we know more about how to put on muscle. That's
no, we're not though.
That
is absolutely true. If you are a
RMR is not BMR. I'm not saying RMR is BMR. I'm not saying that. I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking, but that's not what I'm trying to say.
Here's the reality. You can find 1 million people that are trying 1 billion different diets, and fucking half of them work, half of them don't, because a lot of them have a lot of trouble sticking to different diets. But you can find a lot of retards that go to the gym and curl all day and somehow have decent looking bodies. It's not hard to build muscle mass. You go to the gym, you pick shit up, and you put it down, and that's it. Like, if you want to talk about like optimizing,
yell over them.
Every personal trainer I know disagrees with Destiny and would literally fight him to the death if he made this.
But they make money off of
bring anyone in here. First of all, the fact you even cite personal trainers, which by and large are fucking retards when it comes to anything to do with bodies, is evidence enough that what you're saying is fucking retarded. But what I'm saying is absolutely true. Dude, there's a whole new field of fucking research that's opened up relating to like fucking biomes in your fucking poop chute. Okay, you're literally, people are injecting people with fucking shit to try to change their dietary habits. To try to say that that's fucking less, or that's more understood than building big bodies, which people have done since the Greek days when people would fucking eat shit out of the streets? Are you fucking serious? People have been building muscle for all of human history. People are like just now learning that our diets are incredibly complicated things. You can't say that building muscle is understood that your diet.
I listen to people who live the life rather than streamers who are online all day.
Okay, that's good. Nice.
So wait, hold on.
So next time, just say I don't have any fucking idea what I'm talking about, but I'm going to allude to other people who, guess what? Probably go to listen. Abba, you bring on any weightlifter ever. Abba, I will tell you, Abba, I'll stake my whole reputation on this. Okay, if you bring in any weightlifter friend, they're going to make the same joke you did about you. They're going to say the people that they make fun of the most are the people that sit in mid-max fucking workout programs online and never go to the fucking gym. What they're going to say is if you go to the gym and just pick shit up and put it down, you're probably going to build muscle. Every single friend you have that is big will tell you that, I promise.
Have you tried
the muscles, but he has the knowledge.
Have you tried the starting strength program?
It doesn't matter what I've tried. Everything I just said is true. Every big friend you have will tell you exactly that thing.
You should buy
100%.
Some people, how come you're not a super ripped person?
Because I play computer games all day. What does that have to do with what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is 100% correct.
No, you say you're going to the gym all the time.
Starting strength isn't necessarily about building muscle, though.
If you've been doing it, how come it hasn't worked? You have all the knowledge, you have all the time.
I'm not, because I'm playing video games all day.
Are you trying to argue whether or not I'm big or not?
If that's the argument, I have an argument, but it's not going to change whether I'm right or wrong.
I'm arguing that you have the knowledge, you're ready to do it, you have the time, you say you go to the gym all the time, but it turns out that you're applying it, it's not working. So why is it not working? You're counting calories.
There are more variants to gaining muscle. There are just so many.
What are your lifts? What are you talking about? If you just want to talk about my personal progress on fucking weightlifting, we can have that conversation, but it has nothing to do with what I just said. Please bring in any weightlifter friend that you have, please, and they will tell you exactly what I've just told you. Bring them in, please. I promise you.
Certain lifts are really hard for certain people with certain types of bodies. So most people, if they go into the gym and they just do some squats and they do some benches, yeah, they're going to put on muscle. But for some people, for example, because of the like lever length because of multiple things about the length of their legs. Absolutely, this is actually true. They will struggle to do lifts, and then they'll do it the exact same way that everyone else does. It'll injure them. They'll be weak as fuck, and they don't put on mass. This is true. This is why most people get very the shit personal trainers suck. But if you get a really good personal trainer and you're somebody who's struggled to gain, it's night and day. I know this. This is fixed.
If you're just trying to build muscle, you don't have to pick up a fucking barbell. Just fucking sit at the fucking leg press and build your fucking quads, or go into any fucking machine and pump a fucking machine. You'll build mass. You don't have to do the fucking barbell lifts if your goal is to just build some fucking muscles.
Yeah, we get that. But Abba making digs at the gym progress to win a debate, not cool.
Who cares? Stop
Terry, if you don't believe me, when I see you, you can touch my legs, okay? I'm not playing.
I'm okay.
Oh, so really quick, can I just jump back in here? Okay. I was saying before, I've been trying to, I'm not good at these group debates. Okay, guys, I'm a more quiet.
Scream loud.
I'm a more quiet. My wife is sleeping in the next room and has to wake up in 5 hours. I can't scream. Okay. Here's what I wanted to say. Before, you gave good advice, calories in, calories out. You can do like your IFYM, all that other shit. I'm talking about the fat people. Like, we know we got to eat less, and we know that counting your calories will help us lose weight. Most fat people aren't motivated to do that. When I said this, I mean more like better long-term overall habits for fat people to do. Like, get up and walk for half. That's the first thing, is like get up and walk for half hour a day, because that's going to be good for your heart, even if you don't like necessarily lose a ton of weight. Trying to replace all your sodas, even if they're diet, with fucking water. Trying to have like some fucking vegetables at a meal. I know all I'm saying is, as a fat person, like we all know we got to eat less and count our calories to lose weight. We're just not fucking doing it. That's all I meant by advice to fat people that'll actually stick, because obviously we're fucking idiots. That's all I was saying before. I wasn't saying that your advice was bad.
Is to lift heavy weights and put on a lot of muscle. That is going to be the best advice overall, because then your RMR, which is not your BMR, motherfuckers, your RMR will increase, which is better. Also, Destiny, I brought up a fucking personal trainer, so now you can fight.
You can bring a personal trainer, but just so you know, you will never, ever, ever outlift a bad diet as a fat person. You will never get. If you're fat, you've already got the muscle. You need to lose the fucking fat that's wrapped around it. A guy with 40%, 38% body fat is not going to go to the gym and outlift his fucking fat. That's never going to happen in the history of all of fucking lifting kind.
Hold up. Low tier God. Low tier God. You're a bodybuilder. You lift for a living. Like, yo, what do you think about this conversation? You agree or disagree?
Yeah, how you doing over here, dude?
I definitely disagree. I feel like you can hit a plateau. It's not as simple as going to the gym, picking up weights, and putting shit down.
Well, you need to make sure you're eating enough.
He's talking about hitting a plateau. I'm talking about getting a guy to the gym for the first fucking time.
Let him speak.
Put this into equation. So when you walk into a supplement shop, right? It's literally catered around fat loss and how to lose weight. There's not too much shit on how to put on muscle. If you want to put on muscle, okay, we can sell you this protein.
But does that even work?
Is there any pills I could take to put on mass? No, we don't have pills to put on mass, but here's this protein powder. There's more of a science to losing weight than there's more of a
wait, but just because hold on,
weight loss supplements
doesn't work.
Anything.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
Hold on. You know what works in the supplement shop is protein and creatine. And if you want, you can get the mass gainers. There are
a little bit of
trend pills that you can buy at the gym to lose.
Little Anavar. The weight loss pills. The weight loss pills are like a pipe dream. I know from experience that doctors will prescribe you fucking psych meds to help you lose weight to fat people, because they don't really give a shit. Like, they're just trying to fucking those things don't work.
If you want to have a real conversation about losing weight using drugs, you need to get on meth. Okay, that's the honest truth. Okay, it's not going to be a fucking supplement pill in a fucking gym store.
I mean, honestly, Destiny, if they can have fun and lose weight, I feel like fat people have a lot of options in that case.
That's fucked up. My dad died of meth. I'd really appreciate it.
The problem is that
your dad died of what?
Meth, dude. That's really fucked up. I can't believe you made that joke.
That's not even true.
I wish it was.
I mean, even
is it actually true?
No, it's not true.
I'm sorry. That was a bad gamble. My part.
Sorry, that was just a bad joke.
Did he become skinny before he died?
Bro, I fucking wish. Wait, no. He's still pretty fat.
Okay. He's not dead.
Okay.
No, it was a joke. It was a little goof, guys.
Good. Okay,
on one level, right? Fat loss is really simple, and on one level, muscle mass, gaining muscle is really simple, right? So the answer for muscle gain is progressive overload. The answer for fat loss is caloric deficit, right? But both of these things interplay into each other a whole bunch, right? So if you do a decent amount of lifting weight, muscle becomes a catalyst for fat loss, because all of the activity that you do now increases your MMR or RMR more, right? So you lose more fat for doing the same thing, the more muscle you have, right? Okay. And so when it comes to hypertrophy, there's a whole bunch of additional variables. So there's like 7 different, what's the word I'm looking for? breaks in the pipeline, right? Bottlenecks that can cause you to not be able to gain any more muscle and to be able to where you plateau. If you don't have enough strength.
Hold on. You can't compare min-maxing muscle gains, which nobody here is talking about and no fat person cares about, to just losing weight in general. These are two totally different things. Like, if you want to get into an argument over like what your optimal sleep timings are and what your metabolic windows are for eating, you can have that conversation, but it's not relevant to the general principles of building. Yeah, exactly. But none of this
is way down the line. But there's bottlenecks like earlier on in the process, right? So if you have super long lever arms and you try to do any pressing movement, right, you're going to be way weaker than everybody else proportionally, and you're going to be more at risk of shoulder damage. So some skinny ass dude, exactly. So some skinny ass dude gets into the gym. He's like, oh, this shit's easy. I fucking watched Destiny, dude. He told me go lift some weights and I'm going to get fucking ripped. And then you get in there and you try to press just like everybody else. Your anterior shoulder capsule starts to burst because your humerus is jamming into all of the structures. You develop like not compartment syndrome, sorry, impingement syndrome, and now you can't lift anymore, and you're out of the gym for 3 weeks because all of this information is generalized and works for some people, but then there's a whole bunch of people like these skinny, lanky ass dudes that we're talking about.
We call them hard gainers.
We call them hard gainers, and they get a hard time, and there's some legitimacy and there's some like, you know, just fucking eat more, right? Both happen, but like the guys that fall through the cracks are the skinny ass, lanky ass dudes that try to do the same thing as their bros in the gym. They don't understand that there's difference in body geometry, and then they fuck themselves up doing the same thing as everybody else.
Wouldn't that difference be like grip width though? It has nothing to do with like the actual rep ranges that you're going to use, right? Like it's all grip width.
It's not about rep ranges. It's about range of motion.
No, right? No, I know, but like there's a way to safely do like an overhead press as a tall person with longer limbs. It would usually be with like varying your grip width. So there's no like specific
and depth.
Sure,
depth, right?
Depth. So you're saying like don't come down.
This is literally true of every single compound lift. There's going to be variations from lifter to lifter.
Not even the compounds. Even if you're doing like a fucking machine unilateral press or something like that. So these people are exceptions, right? This is who we're talking about. I agree that we're talking about exceptions. It's not the average person. The average person is going to walk in the gym, gain weight or gain muscle, right?
But all I'm saying is that you can take 10 people and send them into the gym with 10 different programs, and all of them will make progress. If you take 10 people and put them on 10 different diets, half of them will drop it after fucking 1 week. The other half will eat the wrong fucking shit and not do anything. And then maybe like 1 out of 10 will do okay. It seems a lot harder to figure out the dieting thing than it does to just go to the gym and pick stuff up.
Well, in both of those instances, it's more about motivation.
Go to the gym and lift stuff up. If you say go to the gym and lift stuff up, by the exact same token, you just say go home and eat less food, right?
But it sounds simple off top. No. But there's a wrong thing in here, and it has to do with a component called appetite. Appetite is this thing that is constantly driving you throughout the day to fuck your diet up. You don't have that same push when it comes to muscle loss. If there was some weird like anabolic activity that like drains your muscles and eats away your protein during the day, then this would be comparable, but it's not. Appetite is an all-day pressure for you to fuck your diet up, whereas going to the gym is just you just got to put an hour or two aside every other day to do that, and you'll be generally okay. But the appetite thing is what makes. That's why when you just say, "Oh, just eat less calories," eat less calories of what? If somebody doesn't vary their diet and they're eating a lot of overprocessed foods and a lot of heavy carbs, and all they're doing is trying to eat less, they're going to be fucking starving by lunchtime, and they're going to fail. They're going to drop. They're going to crash hard. It happens every single time with fat people.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I agree with you completely, right? Caloric deficit is not difficult, but habit change is difficult, right? So finding more satiating foods and finding the strategy that works for you, right?
Because
just
nobody,
like
if you're eating, I think Papa
got to find the strategy for you.
No, you don't need the strategy. You don't need a strategy in the gym. If you just go and do random shit, if you're like a young male, you're gonna put on muscle. You will, as long as you go
yourself.
True. If you injure yourself, and if you're dieting and you stick the fork down your throat and bleed out by choking to death on it, then you also
no. Hey, hold on. This is entirely disanalogous. Okay, saying that a guy with long ass arms that goes in the gym and hurts his shoulder because he has too much range of motion and not enough rotator. Hold on. Let me finish, brother.
Let him finish.
You have a weak rotator cuff, and so then you bust out your the head of your anterior shoulder compartment or whatever, right? So that is analogous to the overweight person who's told lose weight, eat less food. They try, and then, like you said, they're hungry by lunchtime, and then they binge eat, right? These two things are entirely analogous in the sense that there are complications and there are oversimplified answers. There's complications on both ends.
Well, yeah, but isn't the argument that like
we know
one's
almost
easier?
All of the biochemical means
this is the fucking
by
problem.
which people lose weight and gain weight, and there's tons of variables for hypertrophy that we don't understand. We don't even really know what hypertrophy is.
And yet, how crazy is it that only 2% of people will ever return to a normal BMI from being obese? 2%. How many people go to the gym and put on muscle, though?
It's habit.
Yeah, I know. But how crazy is it that it's so much easier to find people to make progress pics of before and after at the gym than people who do with returning from obesity, right?
Okay, like, what percentage of people who start going to the gym to get big stay going to the gym by the end of January?
A much bigger percentage than people that are obese and try to get back into a normal BMI range.
That's probably true. I'll give that to you. I'll give that one to you. Well, hold on, Sherry.
Kyla, is this the Zumba teacher you told me about?
Oh, Zumba teacher. True. Yo, I'm a corrective exercise specialist and powerlifting coach. Okay.
Oh, my bad. Wrong person.
I think what Destiny was talking about is called like set point theory or something like
that.
No,
I'm not talking about that. We don't need to talk about that.
It's completely different. What we're talking about is like there's a whole bunch of variables that go into why people stay overweight and are unable to change why they're overweight, right? One of the really big variables is how to eat is modeled to you as a child. The number of fat cells that you accumulate stays global throughout your life and is what affects your leptin and ghrelin modulation, which are your hunger hormones,
appetite,
your hunger and satiety hormones. And so if you're overweight as a kid, because your parents didn't model a good way for you to eat to create a homeostatic environment in your body, you develop too many fat cells, which makes you more hungry and become less satiated. And so it becomes more difficult for you to maintain a caloric deficit over a long period of time, let alone the fact that you just don't know how to eat well already, right? So it's an uphill battle for overweight people. It's really challenging.
Sure.
The thing is it's known how to change it. We know all of the variables.
The only point I'm trying to make is if you have a shit diet, will you ever lose weight with a shit diet? If you're not going to the gym,
define shit diet for me.
Like, just I don't know. What somebody says, "Oh, my diet is shit. You never clean up. You don't do much different. You just have a shit diet."
Well, you can lose weight eating nothing but Snickers. Just not
but
many.
Realistically, is that ever going to happen? Or okay, let's ask. I'll ask a little bit more. I'll ask a little more honest question. Okay. What's more likely to happen? Somebody losing weight on a shit diet, or somebody gaining muscle and a shit gym plan?
Definitely more likely for someone gaining muscle on a shit gym plan. That's for sure true.
Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. There's a science to both, and there's a science to min-maxing both. But it's so much easier to just go to the gym, pick things up, and put them down. Whereas on the dieting thing, it's a way more habit-related thing. Like,
well, no, because going to the gym is a habit too, man. So you're like, this is
it's not a habit. No.
You keep confusing adherence for simplicity.
No, the problem is that adherence to a gym plan just requires you to show up at a certain time of the day.
Okay, you keep saying this. You keep using these overly simplistic atomic arguments, right? It's very simple to consume less calories than your body does.
But that's what I'm telling you. It's not. That's the whole point I'm making. That if you only eat over-processed foods, it is very fucking hard to not eat more during the day because you're going to get fucking hungry. If I give a guy a chicken breast and I have him eat that and I say, you're not eating for 6 hours, he might be okay. I could give him a croissant, which might even be more calories depending on how much butter is in it. That guy's going to be starving after an hour and a half. It's not, there's a constant pressure throughout the day with your appetite to encourage you to eat a bad diet. But for the gym, as long as you go once every other day, you're probably going to be okay. There's not a constant driving pressure throughout the day to fuck your shit up.
Destiny, do you feel like that's just true in an American context, or do you feel like that's true in a worldwide context?
It's true worldwide.
Yeah,
bro, America's not even in America is not even in the top 10 most obese countries anymore. It's a worldwide epidemic.
I think this is just your American.
It sounds like
America
the body positivity
better than everywhere
working,
mindset
bro.
Because I would argue that it's probably harder in a lot of foreign countries to stay eating fatty foods or eating unhealthy than here. I would argue that what you're saying is absolutely true here, but I think in a lot of foreign countries it's actually much more difficult.
There's processed food is
that's American. That's American.
All of these countries now.
It's not like we only have McDonald's in fucking the UK, Germany, France, and the United States. Like
McDonald's is not the same in those places. 1, 2, they're not nearly as accessible or as relevant. I think what you're saying is true for an American context. Worldwide, I don't believe that's true for every place.
Okay, well, literally the entire world is moving towards obesity. So I don't know what you want me to say. Like that's just a fact.
That's because everybody's lazier now.
No, it's because there's there's high processed food with lots of sugar in it, and people are getting more sedentary. So have what you said, all across the world. But I think it's access. And I could be totally wrong.
For example, obesity rate has doubled more than 1 in 4 adults over the past 20 years.
So this is
America is responsible for half of that.
No, the American diet gets exported to the third world countries. Yeah.
Sure, but I mean
that's everyone's fucking problem.
It's easily accessible, high density, like low or high caloric density food, right? It's over processed shit that everybody eats, and then you get fucked. Like that's it. Like it's probably impossible. This is my guess, but I could be wrong. But if you actually have like somebody cooking food for you every day on like a well prepared diet, it's probably really hard to overeat because when you're eating like a real protein, like some reasonable carbs and vegetables for every meal, it's really hard to stuff like 2,000 calories in your face. Whereas every single person in my chat that weighs 100 pounds can eat like a whole box of like large fries and probably like 15 McNuggets.
15?
That's not a lot
for the underweight people in chat. Okay.
I kind of think that Destiny's onto something because I think a lot of
consuming all that grease.
Yo, they actually sell 15 packs for chicken nuggets.
Well, they probably buy a 20 thing.
They
they
sell
eat
20
it all
pieces.
And they don't. Okay.
Okay, 20 people. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Because they ate all the fries. You know,
it's a better value than getting the 10 pieces. By the way,
I know it's like comes in
I think people underestimate like how many people how hungry people are. Right?
Well,
like I think
tell us how hungry are you?
20 nuggets is gluttony.
Yeah, 20 nuggets.
Whoa, but what if it fits my calories, bro?
Pack for 60, bro. That's real.
What if it fits my IIFYM, bro? Like I can't eat 20 nuggets.
Am I still quiet, or is everybody just ignoring me?
No.
I have a
It's not working.
I have a 3,500 calorie deficit, bro.
We can hear you.
Macros is such bullshit, though. Like
what does that
if
mean?
it fits your macros, the if it fits your macros thing, because I feel like people just structure that diet around fucking junk food instead of trying to get more nutrients in.
Based.
Wait, sorry, I don't understand what macros is bullshit means. So like you're saying if you get enough protein.
Obviously,
okay, sorry.
the concept of macros. I'm talking about the if it fits your macros like diet model is bullshit because these people just try to find ways to eat as much junk food as possible without going over their calorie limit for the day, instead of being concerned with like getting nutrients and micronutrients.
Word.
I mean, you're also
true. That's why the focus needs to be on eating better rather than necessarily losing weight. Food first, then losing weight second.
All of these strategies work for different people, right? Like I think when it comes to this shit, it's like, okay, the science is settled, sure, but like different strokes work for different folks because
I it's bullshit. I'm just saying I think it's bullshit.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll back off. Then I'll back off. I respect that.
This guy sounds similar. Can we find out what Stardust wanted to say?
I think she said something about chicken nuggets and not liking them.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I want to hear what you had to say. Be a strong, independent woman. Let me hear.
Your mic works now, so we can hear you.
I was just gonna agree with Destiny on what he was saying. I think people forget like how hungry fat people are. Like, it's just
It's true. It is true.
People are really fucking hungry.
Like you don't need sex.
It's bio.
That's untrue, bro. I disagree.
It's emotional. It's emotional, but it's also biochemical, right? Because I don't want to underplay the like plight of overweight people. Because like if you like we've talked about, right? I mean, it sucks. It sucks.
It is a plight. It's a worldwide epidemic. It is a plight.
Overproducing leptin, underproducing ghrelin. It literally just means you're hungry all the time.
What can I
say? Okay, so Destiny, I wanted to ask you.
Yo, what's up, babe?
I know I was triggering you earlier, and my bad. I didn't.
No, you're triggering me with your dog shit arguments. You make all the personal text you want.
Hey, to be honest with you, I was making those arguments because I knew they would trigger you. So
fuck you. I hope you.
No, shut up. When I was talking about black people and dying, you were trying to make jokes to deflect from that. So you can suck my nuts, okay?
Jesus.
This bridge is gonna burn up for one of us trolling too hard. I'm warning you right now. But
nah, I'm good. I don't mind yelling.
I'm not good. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What's up?
I was going to ask you earlier that we got on this topic because I was bringing up the fact that I feel like nationally speaking, in terms of like this fat acceptance movement, that there's an effort in order to kind of create a bit of a complacency in a lot of people. Papa God obviously disagreed and he felt like, no, this is just about making people feel good about where they're at. Do you feel like the fat acceptance or body positivity movement as it's being, purported online and what you're seeing on the national level, do you feel like it's an issue or no?
Fat acceptance is like every single other progressive idea once it hits the mainstream. It starts off as a really good idea that needs more attention, and then it gets morphed and bastardized into something fucking stupid. Like every single fucking thing progressives push for. I don't know why. But like the idea that you can just bully people out of being fat is stupid and it doesn't work. If it did work, nobody would be fat because nobody wants to be fat. It sucks to be fat. But like obviously that doesn't work. So fat acceptance, the idea of at least like, hey, love your body, respect it, appreciate it, and then work is a good idea. But then when people start like modeling for super plus size models and say, well, skinny people can be unhealthy just like fat people, it gets real fucking stupid real fucking quick. And it seems like that's where we're headed.
The catalogs where like the women's section is completely inclusive, but the men's section still looks like fucking 6-pack ab models.
Well, I think most men don't care as much as women.
Care about that for women.
Well, I don't think that men care as much as women about that shit. And like we don't like
Yeah,
I don't read. That's kind of gay. You know what I mean? Like it's a woman thing to do.
I think there's a societal context to this, right? Like women are generally more valued for their looks, whereas men are valued for their achievements, things like that, right?
True.
So
No,
I think that
men fetishize fat women sometimes.
That's absolutely not happening right now.
You don't think? I think. Wait. I think it is. I mean, like that's
no.
To me.
Hold on, wait.
That's not the whole thing.
I have to speak out for all the fat women on it.
No, you're a white male. No. She's a half black woman.
It doesn't matter. Even black people. When you're talking about fat people, you're talking about people that are fat in a particular way. Nobody wants a fat person with flat ass and flabby boobs. I'm sorry. Was this where we were going to play with the hyper-specific fucking fetish that applies to 1% of the fat?
I'm going to play
my bad.
Okay,
my bad. You win. You auto-win.
Fat shaming only applied to women that are fat?
Does what?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Absolutely.
I feel like it only applies to women who are fat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't fat shame a fat guy. If anything, it's just like, why don't you just be funny and fat?
Well, you can fat shame a fat guy. It's just not as effective because again, like Stardust was saying, I think it was Stardust. Like men tend to be more valuable.
You guys are talking about.
Just geared more towards obese women.
Papa, what do you mean it's not as effective? What do you mean?
What I'm trying to say is like it's more. Women face much more fucking bullying for their weight online than men in every capacity. Like you can fat shame men, which is what I was saying. True. You can fat shame men 100%. It's just not generally. Listen, I don't know. For me personally, I was like, big on TikTok, whatever. Nobody ever made fun of my weight at all. Women existing, they get made fun of for their weight. Like men don't usually hit it that hard. It's usually more about their accomplishments. Women are just like fat, exist, disgusting. That's pretty much like that's the pipeline. So like it happens to men.
It's socially acceptable for men to talk about like feeling bad about being fat shamed.
I reject that.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Whose problem is it? Wait, no, hold on. When you say it's not acceptable for men to talk about being fat shamed, is that because of the fat women that are a part of the body positivity movement, or is that because of other guys or other people that don't like that movement that'll like shit on a guy for speaking out? Because I'll tell you, the most shit I've ever gotten, the most shit I've ever gotten is like from my audience ever is when I talk about how like fat people have a struggle and people are like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like it's not, it can be inclusive for fat guys, but it's not the movement itself isn't saying, isn't pushing people out.
I'm just saying if somebody said like, like men don't get as much shit for being fat. And I'm saying, I think they do, but I think that they're socially discouraged. We've been talking about
I think
because I've been trying to speak.
Wait.
Spoken at all.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
You're tell me that fat people like eating?
No, I'm not going to tell you that fat people like eating. I would reiterate that men generally are given credit for their accomplishments, right? Women are by far like they're more valued for their looks. It's just something that you learn like from a young age. And it's changing. It is changing, sure, like little by little, but I would still say that in most cultures, women are still primarily valued for their looks.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I don't understand how Steven gets
I just
complimented for being smart, and he just ignores that BBW is even a fucking category on porn.
Okay, all right, thank you for talking about random porn. Okay, so what I was going to say is...
it supports my argument, Abba.
I like this conversation a lot.
You got dumpstered, Abba. That's where you belong.
But I think both things can exist at the same time, that men don't receive as much shit while also not being as accepted into the movement, but it's not by the movement itself.
That's true. I think Papa Guy, you're onto something interesting because I think that like
thank you.
I can't think of like 5 fat female streamers, but I can think of like 5 fat male Twitch streamers.
True. I'm all 5 of them because that's how fat I am.
Good one.
Well, here's the thing. You can also be banned on dating apps for saying you don't like fat women. Did you know that?
How did you? Is that like a personal
is that
thing?
impressive?
I've never.
Or what?
I've never heard of. Is it you're saying I don't like fat women, or is
Abba
it like,
actually knows this?
Or
everybody fat fucking whales, and they banned him.
I was going to say, is it just like you going around calling them fat?
I loved every second of it.
And if you put in your dating profile that you don't like large women, you can be suspended on multiple profiles. But if you're a woman,
I've never heard that before.
Profile, you don't like fat guys, you're not going to get suspended.
Well, I've never heard of that before.
Fat phobia and fat phobia.
Wait, why is that stupid?
It's mainly geared towards women. Because I could be suspended on a dating app for saying, you know what, my preference is not big women. I'm going to get suspended.
Aaron, you said that's stupid. Why is that stupid to say that?
But that's some stupid shit, because if you're right in your bio, if you're not even talking about yourself, you're talking about like, hey, I don't fucking like fat people. Okay, get the fuck off this app then. Who gives a fuck? You're not going to be swiping right on those people anyway.
Hold up. No, stop. Low tier. When you're on dating apps, don't every woman on the fucking site have a height requirement 95% of the time?
Hold on. First of all, it's literally like 5%. It's very rare that there's a height on a
5%. Are you crazy?
Here's how bigger
Have you
women
been on
decide
any
that.
dating apps? Wait, the number of women that actually have like 6 feet or taller, that's pretty rare. It's not that common. I'm in fucking Miami and I was in LA before. It's not that common. You don't see it that
it's
often.
probably like
I'm saying I think it's lame to put shit like that in your
0.0001%
bio.
of guys that have a weight requirement in their bio.
Is this even is this happening though?
Bro,
like I've never heard of
you
anybody
are
getting
bugging.
banned for saying they don't want fat
I've been on dating apps
girls.
for so many years. I've tried everything. That height requirement thing is not a minority thing. It's extremely common. So you sitting there, it's like 5%. What are you talking about?
Because women
It's
want to
super
wear
common.
heels.
I think that the height. I think women who have a height requirement are stupid as fuck. I'll agree with that. I've met women who are like. I think it's stupid. I've met women who are like 5 foot tall.
How can you be 5 feet and have a height requirement?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's stupid as fuck. They shouldn't have one.
I think both are cringe.
Yeah.
I don't think that we should let 5 foot tall women date 6'4" men.
You think both are cringe?
It's a waste of genetics.
100%.
You think both are cringe, but the truth is, most people never gave a fuck. They only care when it's brought up as a counterexample in regards to people.
But we're not talking about most people. We're talking about me, and I'm just saying that I think it's a fucking waste of time to be putting I don't like this, I don't like that in your bio instead of just talking about yourself and then letting your selections, like your swipes or whatever, determine who you're going to talk with anyway. Why do you have to declare who you don't like in your bio? It's a waste of space.
Well, it's quicker. It's quicker when you just put in your preferences. It makes it easier.
It does matter. I'll tell you why it matters. I'll tell you why it matters. I'll tell you why it matters.
Okay.
Because when you're swiping generally, at least on Tinder, for example, there's a certain limit of swipes that you get to do. And what ends up happening is generally they sequence a bunch of people who swiped on you versus people who didn't swipe on you. They're going to put in most people who swiped on you in the sequence of swipes that you get. And so when people who you are absolutely not interested in, are not open to, are swiping on you, they're just wasting your time in the queue. And also, from the amount of people that you get that did swipe right on you, a lot of them are going to be fat women. So that's why you want to filter them out.
Anyone's reading anyone's bio on these apps? I thought the whole point
absolutely.
Why can't the preferences be like acceptable but shallow at the same time? Like everyone looks at it like, oh, that's a little cringe, but like, it's fine.
Well,
you shouldn't be banned.
I've never heard of anybody. This all started because there was a claim that people are getting banned off of social these apps, dating apps, because they say they don't like fat girls in the bio. I've never heard of that or seen that any story of that.
Honestly, that's
look it up. It's Bumble is the first app to actually do that.
Is it because they're saying they want fat people or not want fat people, or is it because they're like going wink wink?
Your bio is a man that you basically only prefer a certain weight difference when it comes to women.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple, right? It's simple.
I think it's cringy.
You can think it's cringy. What's wrong with people putting in requirements in their profile? They say, I only want religious men. I only want people who are this height. I only want people for this reason. Why wouldn't they put that in their profile?
How about certain races? Because I heard on like Grindr or whatever, so literally like no Asians.
Hey, hold up. If you want to say, I don't want to date these races, I got no problem. You should be able to openly say it. Why shouldn't you?
Look at it as prejudice,
and they shouldn't, in my opinion. Because hold up. On Hinge already, you already have racial profiles. You could actually have a racial feature where you can choose what races you're open to dating in terms of profiles. So who cares if you want to put it out in the open? What the fuck is the issue?
I mean, I don't use dating apps. I'm just saying I think it's fucking shallow for people to come onto these dating apps. And they're trying to like narrowcast based off of these like very superficial preferences. You're allowed to have them. I'm just saying I'm allowed to say that they're fucking stupid.
Wait, hold on. Wait, but I'm reading the article. I'm reading the article, and it includes things like thin shaming as well. So then, wouldn't it be fine since they're not just talking about fat shaming?
Well, I think probably the idea is right. Like, so regardless of the like wokeism of it all, right? It's like it's within all of the dating apps. Vested interest to protect the women on the app, right? Because you need as many women as possible on the app to keep the men coming back. And so it's not about wokeism. It's not about fat acceptance. It's about protecting all of the women from feeling negatively on the app so they stay.
Right, exactly. But that's why the fat acceptance comes in. It's because they're trying to protect fat women.
Trying to make more money,
but also skinny women, also flat booty,
It sounds like a capitalist issue.
I think the race preferences are fine. I would rather people like make it up front their race preference than me having to find out that their parents like really don't like like them dating people of other races or something like that, you know?
That would just make it more inclined, you know, like fetishizing it, you know?
I don't know. You'll go out on dates with people and you'll be like, "You think your parents will be okay with me?" And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And then you find out that they really won't be okay with you. So yeah.
I don't believe you. I've never had this happen to me before.
On the topic of because when we started Destiny, you said that you believe that there was real forms of fat acceptance that were issues in regards to, like you said, the movement moved in a way that basically was unproductive. You said like, oh, they're putting on these models and saying these women are healthy or whatever. Is that the only way that you've seen it profligate in terms of?
That's the biggest destructive way that I've seen it going.
Why is it destructive?
Well, because like fat acceptance is about accepting yourself and loving yourself and then making better choices because of that, not deluding yourself into making unhealthy choices and thinking they're okay or not unhealthy.
Or at least it should be.
How are they deluding themselves? I don't understand.
By thinking that like fat people think that your weight is neutral. Papa God almost said this earlier, and I can't tell if you're saying that, but people think that your weight is a neutral thing and that you can be fat and healthy and you can be skinny and unhealthy. You can be skinny and unhealthy, and you can also be fat and healthy-ish, but just being fat, period, is a drag on your health.
Insulin resistance, right? Which leads to diabetes
insulin
and
resistance is
metabolic
one
syndrome.
thing. There is the oh god, what's the name for the fat? Visceral fat around your abdomen.
Edema.
Things about your organs. It's like it leads to general inflammation along the body.
Visceral fat is more genetic until you get to the super high end, right?
Well, my understanding is that it's genetic in terms of the way that you put on fat. But if you're genetically predisposed to put on fat in those areas or in that way, then being more fat will allow you to have more fat in that way, right?
Yeah, like the fat, the fat cell type distribution, right? So like men have way more visceral fat than women, generally speaking. So it's much more dangerous for men to be fat because a certain percentage of their fat will crowd their organs.
Exactly.
And, like, everyone's
Wait, is that real? Because I'm like asking genuinely because I'm gonna bring this up really quick. This is like an educational one for me. I've dated a lot of fat girls, surprise, right? But none of them have had like any health problems with their weight. But like I do, and I'm the same weight. Is that so? That's what it is.
Yes. Well, potentially.
So they have problems with their weight. They just don't know it.
They go to the doctor. They get their tests. Right? Like that's what I mean. Like they're not coming back with any bad levels or anything. Your blood
pressure will be worse for most guys because you have more visceral fat. So you store more fat around your organs, which like crushes your liver, and then you start getting a bunch of shitty, fucked up hormones and crazy shit. Like so, if you see like old dudes, right, they start to put on weight and it's all in the torso, right?
Yep.
Whereas women kind of spread it out more globally. So that's the whole thing. It's fat cell distribution.
That's crazy.
A fat or an obese person going to the doctor and being told that everything is fine with them doesn't mean that everything is fine with them.
Okay, all I was saying is that the blood work came back.
Surgery that I found out I had hypothyroidism because they would just assume like, all right, everything's fine, but you just need to exercise. You need to eat better. So I would always be sent away with like a good bill of health. Even though there was an underlying medical issue that I had.
Papa God, earlier you were making the claim that essentially this fat acceptance movement is overwhelmingly positive and that like what it's essentially trying to do is make people accept that. Do you still feel that's true after hearing what Destiny says, and what contention do you have with what he said? Because what he's saying is pretty antithetical to what you're claiming.
Well, what he said was that like the fat acceptance movement started as like a good thing and that part of it has gone wrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that, sure. But like what I was just talking about specifically, like loving yourself isn't about like, oh, fat is awesome. For most fat people, we know we're disgusting, or at least that's how a lot of people perceive us. So we're just trying to be like, hey, love your body so that you can like work on it. Like he was saying, like Destiny was saying before. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Why not be neutral about it? I don't understand why you have to be positive or negative about it.
You can't. I don't think humans can maintain a neutral opinion about a fact about themselves.
Parity doesn't exist in nature.
Just have respect for your body. I don't understand why it has to be. It can be based on respect.
Well, if you're talking about having respect for something, a thing that you respect is something you don't have a neutral opinion of, right? It's probably something you're going to have a positive opinion of to some extent.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think I just think the way that I never find out the medical like underlying issues that I had. So, and I think that for most people, if they just like accept the way that they look and they're fine with it, it's probably going to be really hard to combat that problem.
Cherry, can I ask you a question really quick?
I got a piece of.
So was your you said you were hypothyroid?
Yeah, I have hypothyroidism.
So when you talked with doctors, did they suggest that your hypothyroid was downstream or upstream of your body weight? If you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Like,
was the hypothyroidism caused by being overweight, or did it cause you to be overweight?
Yeah, because my understanding, usually hypothyroidism is just a thing that happens, and then it causes you to be overweight. It's not usually that you become hypo.
My mother has it as well, so I think it
is genetic, and then
genetic,
that makes it. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm sorry, that was just a side note.
Are you sorry though?
Yeah, I'm Canadian. It's my resting rate.
Where did Erudite go?
She's running up and down the stairs and working out and shit.
Unbelievable.
I'm kind
Running
of
up and down.
It seems a little bit. It seems a little bit fat phobic right now for her to flex out.
She's doing her Zumba routine.
Zumba, yeah. Well, we just set up a home gym in the basement, so she'll run downstairs, do a set, come up, objectify me a little bit, and then recycle.
Disgusting.
I know it's actually abominable. I can't handle it.
So I'm gonna ask you, Papa, do you feel like as it is now, when you see the fat acceptance movement, all this body positivity, do you think it's overwhelmingly still a good thing or no?
That's a good question. I think so generally, yeah. I think hold on really quick. I think that people need to call out the fucking insane people that take it too far. Absolutely. But I think overall, like, you know, when people talk about the crazy aspects of the body positivity movement, there's never an aspect that's like, hey, you know what? I understand like loving yourself because you're unhealthy and you need to like be able to get to a point where you feel like working on yourself. But nobody ever says that. It's more just about like dunking on the fat people and the dumb fucking fat people that say dumb shit. There's never like the little extra that's like, hey, listen, for context, like this person's being stupid. This is what it's supposed to mean. It's overall just like, yep, you should never love yourself when you're like you're fat kind of a thing. So I feel like the context is always missing when people have these criticisms.
So I had a 2-portion talk about this not long ago, and for me, every time this topic is brought up, immediately the resistance that comes from it is fascinating. Like you'll bring up like the fact that this body positivity movement is not leading to good outcomes, and people will like, listen, man, you know, not all skinny people are healthy, or not all fat people are obese. I'm just like, well, what is this stupid counter argument? And it always comes up every single time, and it's like I don't know if it's like a script that everyone's reading from, but literally every time you bring it up, that's what they always rebut with, and I get confused because I'm like, why are we deflecting from the main issues that most people who are morbidly obese are having huge? Go ahead.
Well, okay, hold on. There's a really good reason why this happens, okay? Yeah, so you can offer criticisms to any group of people from a place of compassion or from a place of hatred. And if people feel like it's coming from a place of hatred, they're always going to push back, even if the criticism is true. Like if I approach like, we're fighting a lot over affirmative action in the United States today, right? If I come in and I say like, I think affirmative action is really negative for minority communities because it doesn't seem like the people that are going to school are graduating and it seems like there are better ways to help them, I'm probably not going to get much pushback against that. But if I come in and I be like, affirmative action is bullshit and it's taking away places from white people, and I don't think it's even helping black people. People are going to fight me on that just because it sounds like the first one is like, oh, it seems like you actually care, but you have a problem with like the process. And in the second one, you're just trying to shit on people. So when you go up to like a person who's saying like, you know, health at every size or whatever, and you're like, listen, bro, like I care about you. I don't think you're healthy at that size. Like I think you need to work on your body or whatever. Like don't hate yourself, but like figure versus like, bro, you're a fat fucking loser. You're not healthy. You're on the verge of death, motherfucker. Right? Even if it's kind of the same thing you're saying, the rhetoric, the messaging is so much different. The second one feels like it's coming from a place of hatred, which is going to cause people to push back. The first one feels compassionate. Yeah.
So 2 parts. I absolutely agree with everything you just said. And I'd also say that even if you come with the first energy, I feel like the resistance to that is still extreme. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, it's extreme, but I mean, like, fat people hate themselves, and they've been fat their whole life, and that's a hard thing to like carry around.
Where did that come from? The fat people have been fat their whole lives. What does that mean?
That like generally people that are dealing with obesity have like had it thrown at them and deal with it.
Yeah, childhood obesity.
Either it doesn't have to be childhood, it could be like in your teens, whatever, but like either explicitly or at least implicitly your entire life, you've been like judged as being fat. And that's not some shit that you can cover up with makeup. That's not some shit you can hide with a different outfit. That's like every time you get on a plane, people are judging you. Every time people see you in public, they judge you. Like every single moment of your life. And nobody really cares about you. Like people kind of pretend to, but like even like other minorities will get more actual like, you know, lip service or more actual compassion than like fat people who are like, you know, it's your fault, like fix it, like what the fuck. So I think that like there's probably going to be more hostility from that community in general than other communities. But I mean, let's just, I guess, not to say like I agree with you, like, and dude, you can find VODs of me shitting on people to do that health at every size thing. Like I go hard too, but that's going to be the reason why people are pushing back so hard against it, right?
That makes sense.
You know, they say that,
and I'll just say, because I didn't get to finish, I'll just say this last point. I think the other part of the conversation, and this is what we'd spoken about you and I earlier when we were talking to Brittany, is I feel like our societies are not socially engineering themselves to give people optimal choices to be healthy. And I think this is the other side of the conversation where I am extremely sympathetic, because I feel like when you live in a city where walking is not encouraged with no public answer, you're going to use a car. You're going to use unhealthy modes of transportation, which is going to make you more sedentary. I think society can engineer itself to be more healthy. Where if you live in areas where access to good, healthy foods at affordable prices isn't possible, then you're having another thing that's compounding these issues. And so one of the biggest differences I noticed between the European lifestyles and American lifestyles is just the access to good foods, the access to public transport, the encouragement to be able to walk and all that shit. Those are little things that I think matter. And then you can talk about the ingredients and the kind of foods that you're getting, all that shit too. So I don't put all the blame and the onus on the individuals itself, because I don't even think a lot of it's there. I think society can also engineer itself to be exponentially healthier, but I think it doesn't do so. Whether purposeful or not, I can't say, but I do think that's also a big part of the problem.
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead, start.
No question.
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go. Bye.
Love you.
Okay. See, I was just gonna say, I know that there's some study that they did that showed that like fat people have the same amount of shame that like people who don't shower or something. Like the amount of shame that they feel is similar or something.
That's wild.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't shower, so I can't really give you
I was going to say, so someone in chat said, yeah, there's endless opportunities to be healthy. Like, that's just not true in some places. Like, the opportunities to be as healthy as there is to be unhealthy is, like, absolutely not true. I remember living in, like, North Hollywood in Los Angeles, and I just remember being so far from every fucking grocery store possible, but there's a bunch of corner stores with shitty-ass foods everywhere.
Yeah.
And in terms of, like, fast food joints, like, it was really shocking to me that if I did a Google search, there was, like, 30 fast food joints, and then there was one spot that did groceries like 25-minute walk away. I don't think if you make it hard for people to make healthy choices, people are far less likely to make healthy choices.
Sure.
If you put a gym beside someone, they're far more likely to go to the gym than if it's extremely far away. If you put good, healthy foods that are affordable near people, they're far more likely to cook and make good food than if it's not. So that's what I mean when I say society can engineer itself to give people optimal choices. It just doesn't, because I think in this very like, you know, and the communists is going to love this, but like this hyper-capitalistic side, I think it's just engineering a way to maximize profits.
I loved that. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
It's not, I don't think it's in a way.
Listen,
good. I was gonna say, I don't think it's engineered to keep us fat. I think that's just, these are the preferences that we've adapted because like the products are so good. It's kind of like losing our privacy to Google. Like people act like it's a bad thing, but everybody loves it because there's so much convenience. And I think it's the same with foods as well.
I disagree in this sense. I think the reason why they use addictive things, I think why they use really addictive properties, despite knowing it's unhealthy, is that they're maximizing profits. So I don't think they're going out like, yo, we want to make these people as morbidly obese. I think they don't care that it makes you extremely fat. And I think they lace everything with it because it's addictive and it can maximize their profits at your expense, which makes you fat.
Yeah, but I think the thing is people won't make those healthy choices otherwise. I think that's the issue. Like, even if you put grocery stores near a lot of poor people, they're not going to go there and buy healthy food. They're going to buy like what's cheap and easily like preparable. Like if it's like a fast food thing.
Well, yeah. Plus, especially people working like 60 hours a week. Because like I remember, like one of the things that does bother me a little bit is when people call fat people lazy. Just fundamentally, sometimes, because I know that the worst my health was ever was when I was pulling 60 hours a week, just trying to like put food on the table. And then obviously the food you're putting on the table is like 7-Eleven has really good 5 for 5 taquitos.
Yeah,
excellent, really good nutrition. So that's one of the butt in here.
But so to offset that, why don't we just create more incentives to do healthy behavior that's good for you? Like, why isn't there like a tax write-off for your gym membership or something like that? Like that shit would.
Well, actually, I think that there is for your health insurance companies. You can give them like the receipt or whatever that you go, and a lot.
And
of
if you say the soda
reimburse.
tax, I'm gonna get so fucking triggered.
Yes,
but they should. They should tax unhealthy food.
You have to tax the fuck out of unhealthy foods. That's what you have to do because poor people spend the highest percentage of their disposable income on food, or not disposable, I guess you would call it. You call on their necessary expenditures is going to be on food. So tax the fuck out of sugar.
Well, if we took away their food stamps, then poor people can't eat, and then we solve the problem.
Don't they got a Japanese fat tax?
Well, we really should, because like we have when I don't know where I live, cigarettes there's like a 50% tax, a sin tax to help people stop smoking. So like they should tax fat foods and then do something to help fat people, because I think that there's a level of addiction. I'm not gonna lie,
I don't think it's a level playing field when food companies are putting in additives that are highly addictive, and then we're out here talking about personal choice and accountability all the time. I think that if you're engineering stuff, chemically speaking, to be highly addictive, I think there's a place in which the government can come in and regulate. I'm not somebody, despite being a cool capitalist myself, I think there are places where government regulation is absolutely necessary if it's for the betterment of society. I think this
it just makes shit that tastes good.
I think a lot of healthy foods do taste good. The problem is these additives are so addictive and that you get so hooked on them that not having them actually makes you think it doesn't taste bad.
I don't think the main additive you're talking about is just sugar. It's just everything has so much fucking sugar in it. And then everything is like ultra fucking over processed. Like I think that's what's fucking us up. But I mean the thing is that like that food is quick and easy to prepare and it's very fucking cheap.
And I think that's why people gravitate. So like, there are healthier options that exist, but people just don't buy it because it's either more expensive
it's the convenience thing.
Yes, okay. So this is where the second issue comes in. I think this is more cultural. I've noticed that like everything is on the fast. It's got to be go, go, go. And one thing I really enjoyed when I was spending time in Portugal is that you could slow things down a lot. That meals were much more encouraged. Like even when I was in France, like the whole idea of going to your local bakery and things like that were really encouraged and profitable. So not profitable, but just like it worked really well. Now, maybe that's not a model that can work in an American market. And so that's an issue culturally speaking that exists. But I think if you're always prioritizing everything based off like how fast can it be made, I understand it's probably the right solution. I just wish that culturally speaking, it wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
The other alternative is to just eat like shit and go to the doctor. They give you pills and you're consequence free.
Jesus.
True.
If there were pills that did that, though, I mean, everybody'd be on them.
Yeah. I was kidding.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other solutions that you guys have societally?
I would say that if you've never tried it before, if you actually go one day eating healthy meal and you count your calories, it's insane how hard it is to overeat on actual food versus how easy it is to overeat on dog shit food. Like you can destroy 2,000 calories of like French fries or croissants instantaneously and you'll feel hungry in like an hour or two. But if you eat like a full meal with like leafy greens, vegetables, maybe like a potato, and then like an actual protein that's not like super ultra twice fried chicken or whatever, like you can eat that. Your meal will be like surprising, like a 600 or 700 calorie meal will fill you up and you'll stay full for a while. But like it's so hard to get access to that good, like non-processed, not overly processed, not over carb heavy food, like day in and day out. People just want like fast food and it like fucks you so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Got to make a fast food Costco. Those chickens are pretty good. Although chicken's gone up a lot. Wait, really quick, because you guys have a lot of. There was like a doctor in here or something, right? No, I don't know. Listen, I saw something on TikTok. I'm curious about this because like some actual doctor duetted it. They were talking about their I don't know, like fibers coat the food that you eat and help process everything you eat more healthily, or is that not true? I know it's a weird question, but it's like in my head.
If you're wanting my husband here, he just left. I can bring it back if you want to. I can just not be on here.
Okay, if not, it's fine if nobody can answer. I was just curious because I heard that.
Yeah, I'm not that proficient. In that
All right, I'm sorry, guys.
I can give you his info and you can DM him though.
Yes, you want to ask me or someone else?
No, I want to ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like you're saying like, oh, this fat, the body positivity movement has gone too far or whatever. And I feel like there's plenty of people who, and like, believe me, there's room to criticize the excesses of like these types of movements and stuff like that. And I feel like it's happening, but I don't freak out about it because it's like, if you go to 10 doctors, 9 out of 10 of them are not about to start feeding you some like woke line or whatever on like fat acceptance and body positivity. They're going to be like, don't be stupid. You have to lose weight if you want to get healthier, if you want to live longer, And so we started seeing like doctors flipping on this shit just so they can appear politically correct. I don't think it's like.
Here's why I don't think it matters. Here's why I don't think it matters whether doctors are buying it. I think most people don't get a lot of their health tips from doctors or their own doctors. Most folks go on social media, and that's where they're getting their cues for diets, for workouts, for everything. And so when you say that, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I don't know, but I really don't care because I think what most influences people in regards to the dietary choices they make is actually social media. And when I see the national media, when I see huge influencers making these like shit takes about body positivity, it like infuriates me because I think it just encourages bad habits.
Well, that's a really good point. I think the only thing that I just disagree with is that like, or I guess I don't disagree with, I think it's like just a part that's missing is that I think more people would take advice from doctors, but they don't have access to healthcare, like you were saying with the food thing and all of that.
Here's another take that you're probably not like. Doctors have zero to little to no training when it comes to diets, and
that's true. I wanted to bring this up. Wait, hold on.
I disagree on what?
Isn't the issue when it comes to like what Aaron's talking about that like your doctor might give you the advice of like, hey, try to eat healthy, like do all these things. But the reality is that like most people don't want to hear that shit. They want to be given the meds and they want to go to the next thing. So like doctors are like, we're saying this, but nobody gives a fuck. Nobody listens because people are listening to like their social media more and they're trying to be like, but I just want to love my body and blah, 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 and all the other different things that are going on.
Can I be a contrarian here?
When you go to Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to. So listen, I know that.
Is this true? I just want to read one thing. On average, U.S. medical schools offer only 19.6 hours of nutrition education across 4 years of medical school.
That's why they all reference you to a nutritionist all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but most people are going to see their doctors for advice. They're not really going to consult a nutritionist. That's not what most people's experience is.
Okay, the reality is 99% of people don't need to consult a nutritionist. It's usually pretty basic.
That's true.
But the issue is that like
if you're going to the doctor, he can't just tell you to like change your dietary habits. Like if you present with hypertension, he's not going to say like you need diet and exercise. He's going to give you blood pressure medication. Like,
well, they'll usually do both. Well,
they'll always tell you to worry, but people aren't going to.
Well, no, what I wanted to.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's the only thing I wanted to say, because like just like a personal experience for myself and like my wife, is there are a lot of times when you go to the doctor and they don't really approach the situation in a way that like encourages you to like diet or exercise. Like the most success, which is right now, that I've had of like actually getting my shit together, was when I had a doctor who was like, you know what, you should lose weight. It's unhealthy. You're on these meds. And go for like a walk through this. I've had a lot of doctors who you go in and like if you don't lose weight that week, and like again, like I'm working 60-hour weeks, or you don't lose weight in that like 3-month period, and they're like, what did you do? Why didn't you lose weight? And they're harassing the fuck out of you to the point where you want to go there. I've had doctors tell my wife she has like psoriasis, and they don't. I've had a doctor tell her that she has like psoriasis, and instead of saying something like, hey, you know that your like diet's contributing to it being worse, they'll say you don't have psoriasis, you're just fat. A lot of times doctors can be fucking stupid when it comes to like dealing with fat people, and it gets like annoying and it's off-putting, because I think the first thing you need to do, especially as an unhealthy fat person, is go to the doctor and get whatever medication you need or insulin, so that you have like you feel better to go outside and actually be motivated to move, because that's the most motivated I've ever felt, is actually being on medication I need to get, which like helps me motivate me to actually do shit. I'm not saying that's everybody's experience. I just wanted to like bring that up.
No, it's a documented phenomenon. They call it medical fat phobia or whatever, and it's that the doctor won't do like a thorough examination on patients that are fat because they just want to attribute. They're assuming everything can be attributed and answered by their obesity. No, but that's not the case though. There's lots of internal issues that you could be having. Okay. But yeah, just like stigma about like weight and obesity.
Diet of cancer? No, it's because they're fat.
Can lead to like patients receiving bad healthcare from physicians. You know, that's all I'm saying. What are you saying?
The problem is that like GPs are mostly trained in like general practice, so like they're gonna have a lot of knowledge about like certain things. Like they're gonna have broad medical knowledge more than basically everyone else that you're going to go to. The problem is that they're not going to have like specified knowledge, right? So like when I had really bad IBS to the point where like I was dropping weight constantly and eating tons of calories. I didn't even practice them. Couldn't process it, right? Like I went to my GP and there was nothing. They're like, I don't know. Have you tried like FODMAP? Have you tried like cutting out gluten? Have you tried?
Totally forgot about that shit today.
Like they would just throw shit at the wall, and the reality is like doctors are often woefully unprepared, but I wouldn't think it's fair to say that like doctors don't know anything. Like they know the basics about diet, they just can't get like specific.
Nah, doctors are dumb. That's all I have to say, dude. I know more than my doctor. That's what I'm telling you right now.
I really think when it comes to diet and stuff, just considering the limited amount of training and all the horror stories I've heard, I don't know if I really trust them on matters related to diet. But I would also say, irrespective of what I think and what either of us think in this, I think the general public does not consider doctors authority figures when it comes to like what their diet should look like. And so I think this discussion about like what should doctors be doing and all this other stuff is kind of relevant for the most part, because I feel like most people don't get their cues from them. I think most folks would trust somebody on social media any day of the week before they look at doctors, because doctors traditionally don't even have like the body that most of these folks want. It's like, whether we like it or not, irrespective of what kind of quality information you have, people are going to look to what you look like before they listen to anything that you have to say on fitness.
True. That's some dumb shit though.
No,
which is
not
fine.
Totally. No, not totally. Like if you're talking to somebody about how to improve your diet and how to get like, if you want to get really fit and shredded, and then you're talking to somebody and like they're talking about the lifestyle and they're outlining like this is what you need to do. It like to some extent, like for personal trainers, there's an element where like, yes, your body as a doctor, if you're a nutritionist, to some extent your body is a bit of your promotion, because like if it's the same thing with like therapists. If your therapist is like got like crazy shit going on in the background, like I'd kind of want to know, and maybe I wouldn't like take on like as much advice.
I feel like most therapists are fucking crazy though. So that's like, you know what I mean? Like most therapists are fucking insane in their personal lives.
Yeah, but as long as I don't know it, it's okay.
That's true. Good point.
You can be as unhealthy as you want. You know what I mean? As long as I don't know it, then I'll listen to your advice. You know what I'm saying?
Based.
I respect that. That's true.
Exactly. So
I think if you don't have the body to prove it, then you have to have like the fucking language. You need to be able to whip out shit to impress them with like.
I'm sorry. If you look like a slob and you trying to give out fitness advice, everybody going to discredit you.
Well,
I don't care how much you know the language.
It's a good point, because I had a fat doctor once. I had a fat doctor once, and they're like, you got to cut down on your like this and this. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm gonna have a nice like good shrimp dinner tonight, because not like I think shrimp is. I thought it was healthy. He starts screaming at me that there's a lot of cholesterol in there and I'm gonna fucking die. I don't know. So he was kind of an asshole, that fat doctor. I think he was projecting onto me because he couldn't have shrimp.
I mean, if you just fucking melt butter and put that shit inside, then probably. But I'm pretty sure that shrimp, depending on how you prepare it, is like generally.
Apparently, it has a lot of cholesterol. I've a bit of high cholesterol, so that's why. I just didn't know that, and he just started screaming at me. fucking crazy.
I'm pretty sure on this. This is the worst part because everyone's like, I read something once that said this, but like, I'm pretty confident that like not all forms of cholesterol are inherently bad, and like the whole cholesterol being the boogeyman all the time was just kind of like a.
Yeah, that's true. I just think that
HDL versus LDL.
I think at the end of the day,
yeah. So it's not. I'm not crazy, right, Disney?
I don't even know if eating cholesterol gives you higher cholesterol. I don't know if that's true.
Exactly. So,
well, what would give you higher cholesterol then? Just being.
I thought it has to do with like your general like activities. I don't know. I have to look it up. But like, I know
the doctor did
fat
say
doesn't give you fat. Like, but I don't.
Well, yeah, but aren't those like two different things? Technically, like fat is like a macronutrient, and like fat is just like deposits on your body. I think that's a little different than like cholesterol.
Yeah, it might be.
Right?
I don't know for cholesterol, but I don't remember. But
either way, he yelled at me and I cried.
What are we gonna do about these people?
You cried, dude.
Yeah, definitely, I cried a lot.
Okay, so now that we can see the. Go ahead.
Well, I don't see people coming to these like body positivity like warriors or whatever for like fitness advice. Like I'm concerned with like the shit fitness advice that goes on in the fucking fitness industry with these influencers that think because they got abs or something like that they're now some authority to be selling people like diet plans and exercise books and all of this bullshit, even though again like they have no training or anything like that. And people fall for it.
But nobody's saying that they're like people are going to body positiveness for fitness. The whole point of like a large portion of the body positivity movement is like, don't diet, don't exercise. Fat is beautiful. Don't worry about it, right? So like, of course, they're not going to them for advice about fitness.
Well, fitness advice, but I just mean like advice related to your body and health and all of that shit. You know?
I think
of course
if you earned a six pack, you can say whatever you want. That's just
true.
How I feel.
Well, I think the bigger issue is that everybody who's giving that advice is always women. So if we stopped valuing their opinion, we wouldn't have this issue with body positivity.
You know what I actually can't stand? This is like to her point.
I was fucking kidding.
If a bitch trying to tell me how, like telling these ladies like, oh, if you want to get a booty doing all this stuff, and they got a BBL, kill yourself.
I agree. There's a lot of fitness influencers that you shouldn't be like leaning into. I think
really wait. Name some. Who? Name them. Which
fitness
one?
Influencers?
Yeah. Who shouldn't we be listening to?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even look up fitness influencer. I'm married to like a corrective specialized. Why would I go anywhere else but my house? That's like if you're married to like a doctor and like who specializes in like one area and you have that problem. You're like, hey, how do I fix this problem? I'm gonna go to like my random TikTok friend instead. Why the fuck would I do that?
Yo, the amount of BBLs has exploded, and I don't think people even know how to look for them because some of these ladies are getting modest BBLs, which is wild.
Think about
they call it the country club BBL.
Think about the healthcare.
And if you want to know how to see if a girl's got a BBL, you got to look at the stomach area because what ends up happening is that this is so sneaky, bro. It's almost like liposuction, but then they double it up with the BBL portion. So they just transmit the fat from their stomach area back to their ass. And here's what's really weird. It's like they got cellulite around their legs and they got these like super nice ass, but then they got like six-pack abs, which is just like not humanly possible to have like fat, chunky legs and like
guys, a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. I don't think Chad knows what it is.
It's okay. They can just call it BBL, you know.
It's called ab etching.
Aren't they getting them undone?
They don't have to ab etch. They don't have to ab etch though. There's some people who just do ab etching, but what I'm talking about is when they transfer the fat from the BBL from the abdomen area to their ass, and that's how they look so sexy.
But there's a trend now that people are getting them undone now.
I think it like to be honest, the reality is like people are doing BBLs because as long as it's done really well, it just looks good. Like it just like she's got a big thick ass and a flat belly. Like it does look good. The problem for Abba is that it's fake, so he doesn't like it, right? But like
I mean, I'm starting to warm up to it, bro, because like I've been grabbing a few BBLs lately.
They're nice.
No,
they don't all look good. I promise you. I'm from an area where people go to fucking Tijuana and they get like cheap ones, and you can tell that they got a cheap one.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, imagine the nursing homes in like 40 years.
Because they don't feel like fake titties. Like fake titties
well, that's
feel
not like
plastic.
Botox. It doesn't sink because it's your own fat cells that are getting moved to a different location. So like it's actually a really brilliant surgery when you think about it from like a cosmetic level because they're your cells. They're going to naturally regenerate. They've just been moved to a new location. There are some complications, obviously. It's not just like
does it work on more than just butts? I'm just asking for.
Yeah, you can do it to your lips. Lots of girls are getting that.
Not like your lip. Is there anywhere else that it works?
Yeah,
like
you can transplant.
I want a big BBL dick. That's what he's asking.
That's not what I'm not asking the question. Somebody's like Skype chatting me and they're asking me that question. Is there a way that you could do that there?
BBLs almost never look natural.
That's cap. That's not true.
I have like a spidey sense. Anytime I see a fake fucking ass, I have a spidey sense.
You have confirmation bias because you're only talking about the ones that you were able to notice. There's plenty that you looked at that you couldn't tell was a BBL, and that's what's fucked up. That's why I'm telling you, you're actually not supposed to look at the ass to tell it's a BBL. You're supposed to look at the stomach area.
True.
Yeah, you can see the stomach looks a little bit too flat.
They just look cut. They just look shredded.
It's
and then
almost
you're like,
like
how you got that big
Barbie
fat old thick old juicy ass when you got like the cut out.
Because I have friends of mine who work out in Panama, and like these ladies tell me like how to tell when someone's got a BBL because everyone's got one over there, and like they would show me pictures of girls who had BBLs. I'm like, I don't see it. Like, how is that even possible? And they're like, you're not supposed to look at the ass. You're supposed to look at the stomach area because that's where they do all the fat transfers. So it's like 2 for 1 essentially. But yeah, you'd be surprised. There's some BBLs that you really can't tell because the ass is like they get a small amount of fat transfer, just enough for it to look nice and plumpy, but not to look crazy big. Those are the ones that are hard to
tell.
Like, it's like
it's
2
so
glazed buns. You know that
No,
it's artificial.
it is not easy to spot. If you think it's easy to spot them, then all you've ever spotted is really bad BBLs. Like there's no shot. Cosmetic surgeons.
Maybe he's just like a fucking ass expert, and he's just on the next level, dude. You know,
Aaron, you're like you're both LTG and Aaron are just wrong.
How about this? We can do a contest, okay? I'll put $1,000 on the line, all right? And I'm gonna put 10 profiles up, okay? And you guys gotta guess how many of them are BBLs. And if there's an error margin of more than 2, then you guys fail.
Damn.
I can guess.
Huh?
So you're just like, if one of us wins, we just get $1,000, but if one of us loses, do we have to pay you $1,000 or what?
Yeah, you guys have to put together. You have to put $100 each.
Put together like a Jubilee video.
It's to your benefit. Like you have to play 100. You have to put 100 to enter. But if you fail, I get the 200. If one of you wins or both of you wins, then I'll pay you out.
This could be like a really good.
Do this. I don't agree with them, but I'd for sure do this just for funsies.
No, don't be dishonest, Kyla. You weren't part of this discussion. Stop it now.
I want a chance to win $1,000. Hold up, I want a chance to win $1,000. That's the
I don't gamble.
Yeah.
It's not a gamble. I would get all of them right.
She admitted to gamble, so she admits she can't tell.
Well, I mean, how much are we allowed to? Is it all visual? How do we get to?
People don't put money on it. They don't actually think that. No, I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm straight edge. I'm doing it.
Hold on. How is it a gamble if you're so sure of your skills?
I already said that. You stole my talking point.
Yeah, but I repeat it sounds more convincing.
Doesn't change the fact that it's so fucking gamble.
Can we wrap it up,
BBLs
guys?
are so obvious.
I want to.
It is. You can tell. You look at these women's asses, and it looks like the diaper's too full. All right, you can just fucking tell.
Okay, well then take the bet. You're gonna make $1,000. It's not even a bet at that point. It's just like that would be like somebody being like, if you can do 10 simple math questions, you can get $1,000. I'd be like, well, I probably wouldn't say yes because I'm pretty bad at math, but
it's okay. I won't make you compromise your values. You're not allowed to enter anymore.
Ooh, you won't. You don't have that influence over me, Abba. But okay, don't worry.
And it's almost like fake titties. You could tell instantly.
Yes.
Yep, that's easy too. Look at Zac Efron.
Wait, that is not true. You can only tell if they're naked and only for some types of fake titties.
Oh my
God, they look too basketball-y.
What?
I know they're fake.
True though. That's true.
Lothier Gods played a lot of basketball.
Bras are magic. Bras are actually insane. They can make fucking A cups look like double Ds unless you see a girl's tits naked. Also, there are certain types of women, I've seen these, where the boobs look normal, but when you actually start to touch them, you can get like fake boobs that are like underneath the boob. They don't make it like bigger, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where they go under the muscle tissue.
Yeah. Like there was one girl, and I was like, oh my god. But then when I touched them, I was like, oh, there's something going on in here. It's either cancer or you got some.
after you found out they were fake, do you think that it was okay to call him a disgusting titted bitch?
Oh, I would, but my name's not Lava.
I think push-up bras are pretty unethical. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn.
Ooh, is that like rape? Would you say
calling women whales is not unethical?
No. I think it's perfectly. I think that's like if someone says I got some big titties, you're like word. If she got a push-up bra, hey man, if you want to make up fun of her boobs once you see them, I got no problem with it.
Bro, just fuck her with the bra on. Problem solved.
No, because the magic has already been revealed. It's too late.
Jesus.
Yeah. If you've been talking like yo, I got these titties and it's fantastic, and then it's a push-up bra and you got like A cups or some B cups, like we gonna have a problem.
These women don't fucking exist. These exist in your head. There's no woman who has an A cup, and she's wearing like some huge push-up bra who's bragging about.
No,
that's true. I agree with that. No, but they're not bragging. Who's bragging about it?
No, Abbott just said there are these ladies or whatever with A cups, and then they put on a push-up bra and they're talking about having big titties. Like, no, they're not going to draw any fucking attention to it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some B cups masquerading as some Ds.
But were they going, I have huge fat tits? Were they like, oh, I have really big fat tits? Like,
no, they just took pictures in every one where they just had these perky, huge titties in every picture.
Hey,
and
good
they
for
framed
them.
it with their cleavage.
That's good for their mental health. I respect it.
It's equivalent to women's scrunchy tights. It's the same thing, right?
Tell them.
So, I mean, why does every chick in the gym now look like she has ass? It's the tights. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a lot of leg.
Hold on.
That's a lot of leg.
Can I tell you, I just want to give a shout out to all the guys in chat that don't know about this, because I have fallen prey to this, and I still do, and I still will, okay?
No.
You have to be so careful of the woman's ass on the counter shot, because women can conjure up asses from other dimensions that don't exist in this one. I have seen women with the fucking flattest Hank Hill ass, and I'm still jerking off to their pictures after we got, because I'm like, there's just no way this is the same shit. I can't believe it. I cannot believe how much that ass on the counter shit will overinflate the perception of how big of an ass a woman is.
All right.
You're jerking off.
You ready for this? So they get out at a good angle, then they use their toes to accentuate one half of their booty, and then they use pants. They use pants that don't stop right above the ass but go up to the back.
Tack.
And so what happens is that
then the half turn
stitch.
Yes,
the half turn.
Exactly. Yep. So the back will look like it's part of the booty, so it makes it look large. I've learned all the tricks. You feel me? And so
the stitching has to be in a heart because it actually does like a natural lifting for the bum too.
Absolutely. If they put a stitching right below where the butt dip happens, it actually makes the ass look like it's got a deeper curvature. So they do all these optical illusions.
If you pull your tights as well to be loose slightly below your butt cleave, it'll give you a bigger butt cleave. There's like TikToks.
I'm taking notes here.
Like, listen,
take notes, LTG.
If you have a small ass, it's okay, but like, don't.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's better to be honest about it than to find out. Do you know how disappointing it is?
No,
like,
but you know what happens?
It's like, oh my god.
You know what happens is that everyone wants that validation, and they don't care if they've misled you to get you through the door. As long as they got you through the door, they think everything's okay. And I understand it. The logic makes sense.
Clothing is dishonest.
Huh?
Like y'all are saying like, oh, it's so deceptive. Some people are wearing these like leggings that make your butt look big or whatever. It's like you're talking about people wearing flattering clothes. You know how
they hate aesthetic.
No. There's levels.
Listen, there are clothes. There are flattering
booty shorts are insane.
Listen, there are flattering clothes and there are speakers that make your car sound faster. Okay, these are two very different things, and just something that makes you look a little bit nicer versus something that makes it look like something that's not there is. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's levels to everything. There's a difference between applying a bit of makeup, and then there's some tutorials where the bitch look like she got on a whole new face. Like it is crazy.
Yeah, but that's art.
Huh?
That's art, dude. That's like you're not appreciating the artistic value of them being.
Hey, listen, I didn't want to go on a date with an artist. I wanted to go on a date with, you know.
Listen,
that's not what I want.
Where do we draw the line? Because I'm wearing a hat and I'm bald.
Scrunchy booty shorts.
It's a good question. I think
unironic magic. Those things are magic. They're actually really uncomfortable. I got a pair recently, and I hate them. I won't even wear them because they squeeze your leg so tight just at the back that it causes your thigh to basically get indented to give you like that extra little couple of centimeters. And they're insane. I put them on, and I'm just like, I am caked up. Like this is a whole dimension of ass. Those shorts those are a problem.
Thank you for your testimonial. And I think this is a good place to wrap it up. D. Steven wants to go to sleep. He's been begging me to stop.
Fucking Steven. I'm sorry.
I got to support him. So listen, everybody, y'all have a good night. Steven, you get some good rest, get some sleep. And
I don't appreciate you trolling me earlier.
You don't?
I'm just fucking with you.
I really don't give a fuck, bro. The way you triggered me and the fact that you said I was friendly to white people, bro, I'll never fucking forget it. And I'm taking you to a cookout. You're going to pay for that one.
Okay, I'm ready to tell all your friends how athletic I think they look and that I voted for Obama like 20 times, okay?
Okay, we'll see. And I'll say your favorite N-word.
Oh my God.
My favorite N-word is nerd, okay? All right, good night, guys. I love you all very much. It's been fun.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun. Peace.
Yeah.
Bye. Nice meeting you all.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face. I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.